It's time for some hostile therapy.
All right, welcome to Hostile Therapy with Big Red on Thursday with me, of course, Big Red and LT Lord Trent back for another show. What's going on, man?
What's happening with you? I got hot food in my mouth, but we here. God damn it.
Now, you ain't put it down too fast, did you?
Got some
Burn your
Brussels
tongue.
sprouts, hot as a motherfucker.
What you got?
Some Brussels sprouts and tripe. I know y'all not up on that.
Would you put that in the air fryer?
No, I threw it right in the oven. I could have threw it in the air fryer. Could have made this a lot quicker, a lot more sanitary. But I chose grease and stove. You know, that's what we did.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And my week's been going pretty good, man. And nothing new to report besides thunderstorms getting on my nerves. I'm ready for more sun to come out again. Tired of
Sun
the
is
rain.
currently out right now after a hour or 2 hour long thunderstorm.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm waiting for
welcome to summer.
Sparky's. She gonna be up here a little later on. Wait for her to pop up. And we're going to talk about. Let's pop it up here. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen while we're up here. Okay, so got a few stories. First story: Supreme Court. Story dealing with helping a lady who was trying to not have to create a website for a gay wedding, or a page for a gay wedding, I guess. No, she was designing a website for a gay wedding. Let me get
of course, as you do, you know.
And she somehow won the case with the Supreme Court, saying that she did not have to do that based on her beliefs. She did not have to make this website for this gay couple, saying that it wasn't against them being gay, but it was just not kind of mix up. It wasn't against them from being gay. Her beliefs did not believe in making a gay wedding design. So
she don't believe in weddings. Okay.
I guess she don't believe in weddings for gay people or designs for gay people. I don't know. We're gonna get into it because it's kind of convoluted. But then we got not sure if you're a huge fan. Oh, you're on mute there for a little bit. Not sure if you're a huge fan of Zion Williamson, basketball player of the New Orleans Pelicans.
I'm not as big a fan as some OnlyFans people are.
Wow, yeah, but they're more of a fan of the Mariah Mills, the porn star that seems to be trying to drive a wedge between him and the lady that he had a gender reveal with. I guess he is with her. I don't know if he's married to her. I think they might be just dating, but she found out that he was having a baby by someone else other than her, and she has gone the hell off, making threatening posts.
Is he the first professional athlete to be unfaithful? Oh my God.
To her, it sounds like that, you know. Yeah, but we'll get in that until a little later on. And see, then we got who's the other one? Indiari. Neo Soul Queen. She seems to have a problem with how today's culture of ladies are displaying themselves in public, mainly musicians. Let's see, Megan Thee Stallion and who's the other lady that she has a problem with?
She called out names. Damn.
Yeah. Damn. The girl has been like freeing her nipple at like every concert lately.
Janelle Monáe?
Janelle Monáe. Yeah, she has a problem with how she's been displaying herself as of lately. And then Jill Scott. Scott has taken an opportunity at one of her concerts and has created a Star Spangled Banner remix that is sure to create some controversy amongst the people who are big lovers of that. We're going to speak on that a little later on. But yeah, we're going to get people's opinion on what they think about that, the new remix. Some people might call it the Star Spangled Nightmare, the way it was sung when she sang it that night. She's going to piss off a lot of people, and there's a lot of people on her side too. And you just froze right there as you're taking a delicious bite. Okay, there we are.
Where Spectrum, my connection gonna do this, even though the sun is out now.
Right. It's like you got satellite signal, even though the sun is out, but still. All right, let's see. Let me find the first story. We're going to go into the Supreme Court story. I guess Sparky will be up here any second now.
Supreme Court been doing a lot. Supreme Court been busy. These past 3 damn weeks, they trying to take everything from y'all insert colored asses here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're actually going to touch on that because my theory with that is this decision that just got passed can create a slippery slope for other things to be taken away from us or people in general who live in America. But we're going to speak
on that. The government loves a slippery slope. Goddamn.
See, let me find the first video.
Okay. You're sloped in the prison to school pipeline or school to prison pipeline.
All right, here we go. Pop the first one up here.
Free speech. Justices sided with a Christian business owner in Colorado who refuses to create websites to celebrate same-sex weddings. In a 6-3 decision penned by Justice Neil Gorsuch, he wrote, quote, "The First Amendment envisions the United States as a rich and complex place where all persons are free to think and speak as they wish, not as the government demands." Some in the local LGBTQ community tell reporter Julian Patas that the decision isn't the end of the debate.
He continues our live team coverage downtown.
That's right. Doug Shelley, the Albuquerque Community Foundation, is a group that supports LGBTQ plus rights. But they say a move like this damages those types of rights. They say with all the work the community has tried to do to move forward, this is something that pushes them back.
It's a scary time to be thinking that my rights might be in danger.
Kate Leung is with the Albuquerque Community Foundation, and she says she's concerned for others within the LGBTQ plus community, but feels New Mexico has done work necessary to protect their rights.
I feel very grateful to live in New Mexico and to live in a community where I feel safe and supported.
Others like Pam Myers worry if the state may eventually lose those rights someday.
Even though we have more protections than any other state in the country, we could lose that in a heartbeat.
The 6-3 ruling argues this web designer has the right to demonstrate their First Amendment freedom of speech. Myers understands this issue puts some business owners in a difficult position.
I would probably be just as challenged as I'm sure they were having to make that decision, but it's a wrong decision.
Myers and Leung say the LGBTQ plus community needs to stand stronger. As they say, there is no going back.
We cannot let members of our LGBTQIA community be persecuted.
For me, there's no choice but to move forward. This is who we are, and we're not going away.
Now, the web designer is based in Colorado, where there are laws barring businesses from discriminating people based on their sexual orientation. Due to the argument that they used free speech, this person is entitled to be exempt from that law. Live from Albuquerque, I'm Julian Patas, KOAT, Action 7 News.
Pop this story.
A woman named Lorie Smith has not started her wedding website business yet, but says that her Christian faith prevents her from doing work that celebrates same-sex marriage. Smith wants to post a statement explaining that her policy is actually based on her religious beliefs. So she sued. She sued to get an exemption from Colorado's anti-discrimination law that prohibits discrimination against LGBTQ plus people by businesses that serve the public. Now, as this case was making its way through the judicial process all the way up to the Supreme Court, Lorie Smith's lawyers argued in a brief to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals that she had received a request from a prospective customer named Stuart, inquiring about a website to celebrate his wedding to his fiancée, a person named Mike. Now, this week, as Supreme Court justices were set to decide whether Lorie Smith should be able to turn someone like that alleged prospective customer named Stuart, turn him away, a reporter at the New Republic decided to get his contact information from the publicly available filing and reach out to him to hear what he has to say, find out what was going on. And what he had to say was actually startling. Stuart claimed he never sent that inquiry, and at the time it was sent, he was married to a woman. Quote, "I'm married. I have a child. I'm not really sure where that came from, but somebody's using false information in a Supreme Court filing document." He also questioned why he, a web designer living in San Francisco, would seek to hire someone in another state who has never built a wedding website, let alone a website for a same-sex wedding, to build his wedding website.
Okay. All right. There we go. So yeah, a couple of things with this. I happen to sort of agree with this decision. If you don't want to serve somebody based on it, and even though it doesn't really speak on that somewhat, but if you don't want to serve somebody because you don't agree with their religion, with their race, with their beliefs, period, I don't think you should be forced to serve them. You shouldn't have to. If you don't believe in it, fine. See how long your business lasts, but you shouldn't be forced to, because, most people look at it this way: all money is green. So whether you're gay, black, white, Hispanic, believe in Satanism, believe in Christianity, Islam, most people now, they become millionaires because the fundamentals is go for the green. And this is one of the bases of how the Civil Rights movement worked when the Boyce boycott happened, because they did not believe in that just go for the green. They did not have black people on the bus. Then guess what's going to happen? If you don't serve black people on the bus, then you're going to lose a huge chunk of your change. And they started hurting for money. It wasn't because of morality. Let's get that straight. It wasn't because of morality is why they all of a sudden said, hey, okay, let black people say what they want to do. It's because they were losing money. That's what happened. And that trickle-down effect happens up to this point. I don't believe there's a lot of, I'm not saying all billionaires are racist, but there's a good old boys club, and they don't care who they serve as long as they get the money. Now, they care about maybe who their daughters are with and who their sons are with, perhaps, but the fundamental for most businesses today, I don't care who you are. We want the money. Let's get the green. And with this, that's why I said I don't care if you don't want to serve me because of my race, my religion, whatever. I want to know you don't want to serve me because of that, because I'm not going to go to your business. Let me know. Let me know who you are. Another factor with this case that worries me, and this is where I said this can be a slippery slope. It basically was brought to the Supreme Court because of a lie. Because as you heard in the thing, she said a gay web designer or a gay person that wanted a wedding design on a website came to her. But he's like, no, I'm not gay. I'm married to a woman and I'm a web designer myself. Why would I go to her to get a web design? So if that kind of thing, that big lie can be brought to a Supreme Court case and change the face of America for certain cases, what makes that was something else like that can happen where somebody said, I don't want to serve black people based off of an inquiry a black person made to me and said, I want you to make a black love web design.
That literally happens all the time, though. That's the thing. Like it was legal about 50 or 60 years ago. They're called whites only things. What I think is so funny about this, not even funny. What I think is like, again, LGBTQ plus people deserve their they deserve inclusion, and nobody deserves to be discriminated against. But it's a damn website, like, because if that's the case, Chick-fil-A should be losing billions and billions of dollars, because Chick-fil-A openly said we do not like serving gay people. They close on Sundays because of their religious views. And that's what certain white businesses, a lot of white businesses, can do. They can refuse the service of those groups that right-wing and conservative white people don't like either. Gays, Jews, blacks, women. And they know that they can do that because they're still going to receive support. Like this lady saying, I don't want to serve these gay people, just gained even more support from MAGA supporters. She gained even more support for anti-LGBT people because they go out and support like people that these groups, the groups I just named, LGBT, right wings, MAGA, conservatives, they do something that we as black people as a community don't do. They support and stop supporting with their wallet. Like they literally let their money do the talking. There have been so many times that owners of businesses have said they don't like black people using their stuff. Timberland said, what's up, Spark? Timberland said that they don't like the way, Timberland said that he doesn't like the way black people wear his shoes and have them. Like a lot of fashion designers that we have made billionaires have said that they hate the fact that Black people are so keen on wearing their stuff, but we still go out and support it. Whereas this problem with the LGBT comes in is this is literally something over a web design. Like the fact that this is going to the Supreme Court this damn quickly over web designing. A Black mother was murdered a couple weeks ago, y'all, by a white woman that they said, you know what, we ain't got enough evidence to convict this lady. But somehow we have enough evidence to take this case all the way up to the Supreme Court about internet discrimination.
Well, let me state this one part here. Now Chick-fil-A will serve you if you're gay. They just don't believe in gay marriage. They still will serve you. That is the distinction here where I think it's a slippery slope. With the gay web design, technically they'll still serve you if you're gay. If you come in and say you're gay and I say I want a web design of any type, they'll make it. But they won't make a gay wedding design. She wouldn't make a gay wedding design. And what I'm saying
we're
is
splitting hairs a little bit.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So what if they switch it around to just Black people, and just switch it like, okay, I'll serve Black people, but I don't believe in Black love, a Black love design as my religion. Because as we know, people have switched around words and scriptures to mean to have their own meaning. So they could also say, well, this is part of my religion to not serve Black people. Maybe I believe in the curse of Ham or whatever, and I don't want to serve Black people because I think they're evil people.
And they could say that, like if there's a religious view behind it, there are going to be government funded organizations that will get behind that. Because think about every politician in America. No politician openly says, I practice Judaism or I practice Hinduism. They all market themselves as a good American Christian. So when there is a religion,
which can mean so many things, right?
Which it's a double, or not a double entendre, it's an oxymoron, because how are you a good Christian and a politician?
Yeah.
Like your job is to literally bend the truth and lie, but you're calling yourself they always market themselves as a good Christian, because in America that's how we control the masses, with spiritual and religious manipulation. When you can't, beat fear into them through your laws with the police, you beat the fear of what may happen to them in the afterlife. What you may experience eternal prison if you don't listen to what the fuck we're telling you to do.
Okay, let me let Sparky get in right quick. So, Sparky, are you familiar with the story with the Supreme Court with the web designer lady? And she was able to, she won the case based on not because they were gay, so to speak, but because they wanted her to create a gay web design, which she said was against her beliefs. So they said technically she didn't discriminate because they were gay. But in the same hand, it's splitting hairs. I know it sounds like it's splitting hairs to me, but she would not make a gay web design based on her beliefs. But she still would serve them if they wanted like any kind of web design, just not a gay web design. Are you familiar with this story? You're on mute.
Okay, I'm not that familiar with it, but I'm hearing what y'all are saying. So it sounds like a good Christian woman owned a web design company, and somebody wanted her to do a web page for a gay marriage. And she wouldn't, and it went to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Okay.
And they said
the Supreme Court said that she had the right to not make the web page, right? Yeah.
As before, they would have let her make it. I think there was a case some years ago where somebody wanted a gay cake, and I don't know if I'm referencing that, a gay cake, and they said she had to make it, or he had to make it. I can't remember the gender of the person, and they didn't want to make it, but the Supreme Court said they had to make it. So now this year with this case, they're saying she did not have to make this design, this gay web design.
Was it a gay wedding cake, or was it just a cake referencing? Okay.
It was a gay wedding cake. Years ago, not this case in particular, but years ago.
Yeah, I got you. I think it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. I believe that people should be able to do business with who they want to do business with.
Yeah.
Period. Like, I mean, for myself, I'm a realtor. If I don't want to show you houses, I shouldn't have to show you houses.
Word.
You know, North Carolina, we at Will State. If people don't want you working for them, they just fire you. They don't really have to have a reason, but people are allowed to kind of do business with who they want to do business with. And I think it's, like I said, it's slippery on both sides, because if you make somebody have to do something for a gay marriage, and let's say that really is against their belief, you know, now you're making people have to do business with everyone, whether they want to or not. And that's part of being a business owner. I mean, I'm sure you as a trainer, you don't have to train everybody. You know, you take who you want to take as clients, and who you don't want to take as clients, you don't take. I think it's slippery too, though, because on the flip side of that, when people are allowed to not have to provide services for people just for a specific reason, whatever that reason may be, whether it's LGBTQ, whatever, or whether it's race, or it could be gender, or it could be whatever, you know, we're getting into a place that we're not going to have inclusion. Sometimes I think that it's a little bit unrealistic, though, to think that we're going to have inclusion in every area of our lives, like all people are. I don't think that people are going to have that. And I think that sometimes we put an unrealistic expectation out there of that. Now, do I think it's a shame that it went all the way to the Supreme Court? Yes. And it's crazy that this ruling came out after the affirmative action ruling.
Right. It's like week to week, something coming out of the Supreme Court.
So it's a little crazy that you're stripping rights, you know, from African Americans in 1 week, and then the next week, you know, you're basically giving rights, you know, to another section of people, and that's a bad thing. I mean, that's a bad thing. Even when you look at the timing of it, it's like, how the hell could the same people that thought that it was okay to take affirmative action away think that it's okay that you basically saying people gotta kind of be all inclusive? It's not one and the same. And I don't know, it's always kind of historically been like that. We know that as people of color, our issues aren't handled the same as other people's issues. It shouldn't be like that, but it's the realness of where we're at. And it's sad.
You know,
it's sad. It really is. It's sad.
It feels like, I don't know, like we're trying to rely on how people are raised now. They're hoping that people are not bigots or not racist, so we'll actually hire people or do business with people based on their own merit, because that's what affirmative action was trying to say. Like, we don't need to put a certain amount of Black people in this school, because we'll actually put Black people in there based on their merit, on their knowledge, on their test scores and stuff. And this is saying we'll allow people to do business with people based on their own merit, what their beliefs are. We don't need to force people anymore, or have a program to make people take a business from somebody, or make people have a quota for how many people go to a school now. It's like we're basing it on how people are raised now, because we don't believe it's anywhere like it was in the 50s and 60s anymore. And let me add one thing, Sparky, that you didn't get to see before we got on here. And this is another thing that makes me pause. The story that we're finding out now, like a few days afterwards, I'm finding out, is that the story was saying that there was a gay guy that came to this lady that was a web designer, and he requested to have a gay web design. But now we're finding out that the guy that in question is not gay. He's actually married to a woman. He didn't request a gay web design. He's also a web designer. So it's almost like the story was made up, but somehow it made its rounds to the Supreme Court, and based off of this, they made this decision.
Propaganda.
So I was like, what could make this? What could stop somebody faking a story and using it?
There were literally fake stories that came out about Jonathan Majors as soon as positive stories came out about him.
Right.
Like literally that night, Rolling Stone, of all people, the fucking music magazine, said they had 40 witnesses of women that said that they had been in violent relationships with Jonathan Majors, which I'm like,
you see how
they
in-depth
gave no sources. All of these women decided to remain anonymous, and you're releasing this at like 11 o'clock on a Thursday night, the day after his trial, or the day after, we get good news from him in the trial. It's like the information gets crafted as soon as they see you fight back a little bit. Like he literally went to court and fight back with truth and honesty. And the media, the media machine is always ready to put out a fake story to push their agenda. If they want to get rid of rights for gay people this week, they're going to put out a story about how gay people are trying to make your kids gay. It's going to make regular people go against gay people, which is going to make regular people who vote against those things, against gay people. It's all about communication and media.
It's kind of like when you see like the, let's say, NBA games, how they at the end of the championship, no matter what team wins, they already got the shirts and the hats ready for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you think, damn, y'all lost a lot of money printing shirts and hats for both sides. Because in order to have them shits ready, y'all not, you know what I'm saying, mind readers. You can't do the future. So y'all had shit ready for both sides. And basically, to me, the media does the same shit. They be ready, sitting and waiting with both sides of the issue. And depending on, like he said, what they want to happen, they determine what lever they going to push and what's dropped. It's kind of like the man behind the mirror, behind the curtain, like the wizard.
Yeah. Whatever's the juiciest story that comes out at the time, that's what they're going to go with.
That's what they're going to go with. The other thing that's bad about the thing with the Supreme Court is, once they make a ruling, that makes it law, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
People come back and then reference that ruling over and over and over again to push more things forward.
Let's not forget they did the abortion thing too. That was this year, right?
Yeah,
that was this year. That was like they literally been going bam, 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 bam. They've been coming down the line, And the other thing
they started
crazy,
with women. They hitting black people. Now they going to gay people. Mexicans better watch out. Well, excuse me. First they tried to deport y'all. They was literally just rounding
they got
y'all
them
up
first. Yeah, they was they. But what's crazy is think about when Trump was putting the people on the Supreme Court that he was putting on there.
Mm-hmm.
Back when he was stacking the Supreme Court, because that's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
While he was out here doing all this other shit, and we paying attention to what he's doing over here, he's stacking the Supreme Court, setting them up for years to come.
Because everyone understands, well, anyone who understands the legislative system, the president don't run shit. The Senate, the representatives do. If I can put motherfuckers in this Senate who fuck with the things my rich friends fuck with, because that's what he was really doing it for. That's why he got elected. That's like, because you need money to win a campaign. He ain't the richest person in the world, but he knows some of the richest motherfuckers in the world. And hey, Trump, we'll endorse you. I just need for you to make it legal for us to drill our oil rigs over here in motherfucking Alaska or some shit. Shit, I'll do it. No problem. What's up?
I was saying, is it scratch your back, I'll scratch mine type thing.
Yeah, very much so. Money makes the world go round.
And we know that you're a bigot. We know that you this, and that. But you're going to make us richer by the shit that you get in office and do. So guess what? You the lesser of two evils, and we'll take you.
So what you were saying, Red, that is good. Like a good business person. You could tell the person of the web design, that's just a regular person. Because I don't care if you're black, white, green, Asian, whatever the fuck. If I can make money off of you, I'm going to put as much money into you as I'm going to smile and bear. And that's what a lot of politicians, that's what a lot of politicians do with these nefarious 10 families that run everything, the Rothschild families, the Jeff Bezos, the Bill Gates of the world, the Elon Musk, who run everything, not even in the background. Sometimes they run everything right in our damn faces. But they work with, the owners of the wood companies, the owners of these, pharmaceutical companies who stand to profit off of a pandemic. They work with these people. to get their crop. You know what I'm saying? We want these crops dying out. Where, you know what I'm saying? I own Kroger's. What I need for is the food to go bad quicker, so people are back here at Kroger's buying more shit even more faster. Can you make sure that we sprinkle some some shit over the crops? Sure, I'll do it. No problem. Just make sure the check cleared, right? All right. So it's all right, everyone. Drugs are not the worst thing. Vegetables are. Like, they literally don't, they pick and choose what is going to be what we're going to be afraid of. What they're going to use as a fear tactic to get us to be afraid of, to get our minds on, so that they
It's
can.
what the next agenda is going to be all the time.
Yep.
What is it that they're pushing next? You know, and they be kind of cattle herding us. You even see the same thing when you look at the medical. Like, think about it. When we were kids, or when I was younger, you never heard about people having ADHD or, you know, different things like that. Kids were bad. They got their ass whooped and whatever.
Right.
They went on this thing where, you know, everybody's got ADHD. Everybody needs Ritalin. Everybody needs Vyvanse. But it's the pharmaceutical companies that are getting rich, but at our children's expense. You know, after they came out with the bullshit about ADHD, think about it. Now they on a sleep apnea kick. Every goddamn body got a sleep apnea machine. You know,
both my parents
that are making them shits. Right. My son that's 19 sleeps on a damn sleep apnea machine.
God damn.
So
I
yeah,
sleep with
Steven.
that makes me sleep.
Yeah, Steven he sleeps on the machine, but Steven had to have his adenoids, tonsils, all that shit removed. And he still has to sleep on a damn sleep apnea machine. So, but think about it. At one time, we ain't never heard about no damn sleep apnea. Either you snored or you didn't snore. You snored too loud, a motherfucker shook you and woke you up.
Yeah.
Now everything is this, you know, this big thing. It's, you know, a crisis. We've got to do something about it. And everything that we're doing something about is putting money in somebody else's pocket. We're not treating any of the shit. All we keep doing is treating the symptoms and get people on more and more and more drugs.
There's no money in the cure. There's money in medicating. There's money in prolonged medication and prescription pills. I don't want you, because if I cure your sickness, you only got to pay me once. If I prolong it, shit, maybe even give you some more shit to be sick about along the way that I can charge you for health insurance. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, our neighbors, Canada has free health insurance. And how often do you hear their people complain about them? Yeah, it's expensive up there, but guess what? They get paid a decent wage. They get paid a decent wage to live because their country actually knows that they are the most valuable resource of their country, regardless if you get fucking syrup, bacon, fucking hockey itself. The most valuable thing a country is always going to have is its people. And whereas America values its people, they value certain people over certain people. And it's really, again, back to the agendas, it's really a matter of what people are in favor this week, this month, this year. The LGBT has so much power that they've literally collected all the offensive infinity stones, and immediately if you say anything to them and they feel offended, they can mobilize together, all together. Now,
breaking up a little bit, LT.
All right, am I back? But
kind of.
I'm gonna pause.
He must have had something good to say. You know, every time he had something good to say.
Spectrum.
They be cutting that ass off, boy.
Yeah. So okay, so let me put y'all in scenario at the same scenario as her. Let's say both of y'all are a web designer, and let's say a Caucasian guy comes to you and says he wants a Ku Klux Klan web design made. That, you know, wants to send Black people back to Africa, wants any other racial combination that's not white sent back to where they came from. He wants you to create it, though. For some reason, he's coming to you because he believes this is the one thing you can do right as a Black person. For some reason, do you think you should be forced to be able to have to do this for him?
Fuck no. And here's exactly the fuck why. Whereas if I was homophobic and the person was gay, them having their sex life has nothing to fucking do with me. There's no hatred, you know what I'm saying, that they're expressing towards me in them being a lesbian or them being a gay man. There's no hatred outwardly expressed towards me, and there's no history of violence of gay people to straight people. Like, gay people don't run around, there goes that straight boy, whoop his ass. Like, that doesn't happen. It's usually the other fucking way around. Whereas if a Ku Klux Klan member comes to my humble web design shop and asks for hey, can you put kill all naggers? I know I said it with an A, but I want like 3 eyes in it. Kill all naggers. Like, I want it to sing. You know what I'm saying? If he comes to my shop and requests that, I can definitely say no, because you're promoting hatred. You're promoting violence, and it has a history attached. It has a history of hatred, violence, bigotry, and prejudice attached to it that I directly relate to as a person on the receiving end of it, as having ancestors who were probably on the receiving end of it. So fuck them. No Vaseline.
All right. Same question, Sparky T.
Oh yeah, I ain't making that shit. They had to take me to court.
Only Candace Owens would make that shit.
Yeah, I'm not making that shit. I don't care. I fuck the bread, like all that. I'm not doing that shit. It's certain things, like for me, I gotta be able to sleep at night. I gotta look at myself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing no shit like that. I ain't doing it. And if I say I ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. Like, I'm one of them. They have to tell me I have to do it, and I'll be ready to go to jail behind that shit, because I ain't doing it. Like, if I really, truly just, I ain't doing that shit. Not doing nothing to push the Ku Klux Klan forward. Can't nobody make me, and can't nobody make me.
Yeah. And I believe that should be everybody's right. Yeah. I believe that should be everybody's right.
Everybody should have right to do business with who you want to. Now, but you know, the thing that's bad, that even in what we're saying and giving everybody the right to do business with what, that gives people the right to not do business with us.
Right.
You know, so that kind of puts us in a place that we're back at somebody else's, you know, mercy, so to speak. You know, and that's why things were put into place. That's just like with the affirmative action thing. They don't put people in school based on their skin color, but they do it any damn way. So, like, if you're going to take where the affirmative action thing is gone or whatever, take the question about race off the application all the way. Take people's names out of the process. You know, everybody that applies gets a fucking number. You know, and they're either approving that number based on the merit of the application, you know, where you have you have no bias in there, so to speak, and they're trying to do it on a level playing field. I don't have a problem with it being a level playing field. If you want to say that's what you're doing, do it that way, then do it blindly. You know, do it where you don't know the people's name. Do it where you don't know nobody's damn race, and everybody gets in based off of their race. If that's what you want to do it that way. But don't try to tell me that that's how you're gonna do it. But I'm still the only person that's checking race, or I'm the only person that my race is gonna be an issue or whatever. Nah, if you want to do it blind,
checking,
do it blind.
Say on some real shit, just to see if they call me.
See what happens.
Yeah, and that's what they're supposed to be doing.
When you hit the, I prefer not to say. Do you think you get as good of a response, or do you think that they still just assume that you one of them, and that's why you don't want to say, so you still not getting the response? What do you think, Trent?
I don't because I've gotten calls, and I gotta line them up with exactly which ones I put it on. But I think there's an element to it of like. I'm always wondering what the employer is thinking. It's like, are they thinking that I don't want to say because you truly don't have to state that? Like, that's a classification. Like, and if I'm supposed to get this job based upon my resume, that, as you said, based upon my merit, based upon how well suited on paper I am suited for this job, why do I need to put on paper my racial classification?
Right.
That's what
I feel like that's a very that's a very white man attitude. That's a very how dare you ask me my race?
Yeah, they're supposed to be removing that from the applications. Since this affirmative action thing has been removed, they're supposed to remove race from there. The problem with that is, and me and LT had talked about this last week, it's before you get there, before you get to the colleges, the people who get in there from, what's the word I'm looking for? The legacy college
But the
applications.
legacy,
Yeah. Where they know your name, you had a father or a mother that went there, and they got their name on one of the buildings out there, and so they recognize the name, and they get into school based off of that. So it's not based off of merit.
That's why we're saying
who you know, nepotism.
Yes,
off of it, have all of that shit off. Everybody gets a number. You know what I'm saying? Your submission gets it, and you get a number. You ain't nothing but a number. Every application ain't shit but a number. You were approving number 55. You were approving number 1. You were approving number 700 and whatever.
That's a good
idea. That's all you know. That's all that the people that are making the approval knows is the number. They don't know the name. So you're not catching the Shaniquas and the whoever's.
Right.
You know, that's another way that they're going to be trying to kill us with that. They're going to be trying to do it with where people live at and their zip codes. Oh, this one from Compton or this one from Watts. We don't want that. So all of those different things that people use to try to, you know, measure us by, everybody just needs a fucking number. Yeah. Everybody's a number and a number only.
And it's like we have so many of them. We have social security numbers. Like,
right.
I wouldn't use Social Security though, because you know that
I wouldn't use that either. Yeah, I wouldn't use that either. But also, they say that the Social Security number, that something of those numbers puts out who you are anyway.
Yeah.
You know, the first 3 numbers tell what state that you were born in and all that different shit. You know, something about it has to do with your race, something has to do with it. So
it's there for a reason. Like it's
right. There's a method to that classification code. And so, you know, even with that, I wouldn't use the social either. But, you know, I just think that it should be
all the numbers in my social security number and I got to do the numerology behind my social security code.
See, we done got him on something.
Lord, so it sounds like you guys, you do agree with the decision, but you are worried about where the decision will go to, how it could affect us in the future. Because
I ain't really say that I agree with it. I didn't really. I'm not really. I don't know that I agree with it.
What was the decision actually? What was
that you do not have to serve a person based off your beliefs? Basically, if you're, you know, you can't discriminate you can't discriminate against somebody based on their race, their sexual orientation, or gender. But if they want something from you that goes against your beliefs, then you don't have to serve them. That's why I say you're splitting hairs.
It's a split hair because what we're intersecting is them refusing them service and that person taking it, or I don't mean to say it like this, but the person taking is, oh, this is discriminate. Like we call it discrimination. It's been, because it's been taken to the fucking Supreme Court. Yeah, they were able to get them charged with a discrimination. But yeah, like that, and that's where perspective kicks in. It's really a perspective thing because I don't see that as discrimination. So
it could be some shit where I just don't like you. Ain't got shit to do with you being black or gay or none of that shit. I just may not like your ass. How about that?
Refuse service to people. I was in the liquor store the other day, and the lady refused me service.
Why?
I had an attitude, but I had an attitude because she had an attitude. I wanted to be honest about my fault in it. I had an attitude, but I had an attitude because she had an attitude with me, and she had an attitude with my woman. And see, I didn't like that, and it was like, nah.
Well, what did she do to let you know that she had an attitude?
She worried about way more than me. I was there to pay for my stuff. My lady had exited because it was cold in the store, and she went to go sit in the car. I approached the counter, put my bottle on the counter, presented my ID and my card, and she was, "Where did your little friend go?" And I'm like,
little friend.
I was like, my girlfriend went to the car because it's cold in here. here you go. And she pretty much basically insinuated I was about to
buy something for somebody underage.
yeah, disseminate alcohol to a minor, and I felt offended by that because, like, one, do you know I'm a whole grown ass man, like, and I know that's something that some sick grown ass men do, but my wife, my girlfriend is a whole grown ass woman, and basically, to make a long story longer, I heard Method Man say that shit one time. It was cool. To make a long story longer, we ended up having to go all the way back home so that she could get her ID so that we could present it to this lady to show her that we weren't two teenagers trying to buy a bottle of Absolute. It was literally just a fucking $17 bottle of mango Absolute because mango is my favorite fruit, and that was the only thing I could find in there that was mango flavored. So I got that. Like, it's not even that serious or that deep. So yeah,
I got out of my store y'all could go to.
That's what we ended up doing because she refused to give me cert. Like, I approached her and I was like, babe, make sure you got your ID out because she gonna ask you for your ID. And I said it loud like that, and I said it petty like that because I was in that kind of mood. I had to drive all the way back to my home so that my woman could get her ID, just so we could get again a set. So yeah, I got out of my energy because this lady was one. I feel like she was jealous of the fact that I didn't look my age, and my woman doesn't look her age. And it was a nice old Saturday, and it was like 6, 7 o'clock, and she was ready to go home. She was tired or whatever the fuck. Old white lady just had just had the nastiest attitude. I want to say that she didn't serve no black attendants. What was her name? Was it Rebecca or some shit? Rebecca or Amanda. It was one of those two names.
Oh yeah, Becca.
I can't. I just went somewhere else and got my bottle and had a chill, calm evening. But yes, to round back where we started, they refused me service. Not because they were discriminating against me, even though I felt discriminated against. I felt like there was racism behind it. I felt like there was bigotry behind it. I felt like there was sexism and classism and ageism behind it because you thought I was a teenager. You thought I was a minor. So you were profiling me. You might have thought I was a criminal. You might have thought I was drunk already. I wasn't. High, yes. But it was a very indica high. It was more body than it was mind. So I was very coherent and I was in a joyous mood. And she ruined
it. Well, here's again what my point is again with this is, again, I think you should be able to serve who you want to serve. You shouldn't be forced to serve who you want to serve. But with this thing is what I'm worried about is you don't have to outright say that you're racist or homophobic or you don't care to serve women. You can disguise it as something else. It doesn't have to be outright racist. You can disguise it as a religious thing and just say, hey, I don't want to serve black people.
Always going to agree with. People love God.
Yeah. Or I don't want to serve women because women shouldn't come in here and get, let's say, alcohol in the ABC store. Women shouldn't come in here and get alcohol based on my religion. And like I said, people can change meanings of religions to mean anything they want to because it's been done. It's done every day.
It would have to be the most popular religion, though, because people not just going to do that if you, let's say, Muslim. They don't give a fuck if you don't eat pork. Like, if it's 4th of July, as it was, motherfuckers was out there grilling pork. Wow. Motherfuckers is Muslim.
Yeah, but a Muslim business, don't have to serve pork because it's against their religious beliefs.
But that's like going into a Muslim business and trying to demand pork.
That's just like how Muslim men don't really usually do business with women. That could be a form of discrimination. Well, I'll never forget me and one of the Muslim men got into that shit one weekend on the corner. So we pulled up one weekend, me and my younger son. He was a kid at the time. But the dude was out there selling bean pies. And damn it, I wanted some bean pies. So I had bought several bean pies. I'm talking about maybe 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? Nigga spent $30, $40 or whatever. So I'll buy the big. Right. So after he takes my fucking money, he goes on to basically not talk to me and start talking to my son and tell him, "You have a good day, young man," something, 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 and shake my son's hand.
Wow. Yeah, they do shit like
And
that.
so, yeah, so
They do.
I looked at him and was like, "What the fuck?" When I went out to put my hand, he was like, "Oh no, I don't shake women's hands." And I was like, "You know what? Then you shouldn't fucking take women's money, then, motherfucker." And got to going from there. And it
'Cause
got
money
to
makes
going
everything
from
move.
fucking there. You know what I'm saying? You got them reached your hand out to take the motherfucking money from me. I didn't give the money to my son and tell my
he
son to
did.
give it to you, nigga. You took the fucking money from me. But after you got my fucking business, my cash is green enough, my cash is good enough.
And that's
You know
what
what I'm
happens
saying?
when
But
you're
then
dealing with
after
people
that,
who sell their religion. That's
there
what
you go. But
happens
then
when you're
after
dealing with
that, you
people
want
who
to
have
come
no
through talking
moral.
about you don't do this with women because of your religious beliefs. Fuck you in your religious beliefs right now because
He
you
made
didn't
an
just took my
emotional
damn bread.
decision based on, he made an emotional
Yeah, like
decision
that shit
and
was
was
fucked
able to
up.
disguise it with religious belief.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
it
I'm
was
worried
all wrong.
about. That's what I'm
But
And
worried.
that's why I
the
said, here
thing with
go an
Muslim,
example
the
of
thing
it
with
right here.
Islam, Islam is one of those religions. It's popular to hate on their customs. Like it's popular to hate on
And the thing of it
Christianity,
is,
but
I
we
don't
know
have no
America's
problem.
main religion is Christianity.
Listen,
You know what
and
I'm
I don't
saying?
have a problem with Islam. I don't have a
Oh
problem
yeah,
with Islam.
definitely.
I don't have a problem with Muslim
Right.
men. None of that. Right. I've dated some, all of that. No issue. My issue was with the disrespect. And I get that to them, it's not a form of disrespect. And I get all of that. But if you can take my bread, you can have a conversation with me. You know, if you're going to be on your religious high horse, that's cool. But you do it even when it comes to my money.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Don't be selective about when
Mhm.
you do it. If you're not going to deal with me because I'm a woman, that's fine. And I can respect it and check it. But don't ever deal with me. Don't deal with me to do business. Don't deal with me to get no bread from me. Don't do no damn jobs for me. Don't work. None of that. Just leave me the hell alone. That kind of thing. You can't
Okay.
pick and choose when people are good enough for you to deal with them.
When
And
money
that
is
I feel like
involved.
is, yeah, when money's that
Okay.
shit was wrong as hell. So that's an example, Red, basically of what you're talking about.
Okay.
And when we allow people to use their religion to whatever, we open ourselves up to that. What I was gonna say to the man, nah, fuck that. Even though I laid his ass out. And I know he probably didn't care about me laying him out because he was probably thinking, that one of them disrespectful ass black. I'm sure he thought all of that. And you know what? And that shit was okay. It was fine by
Yeah.
me. Because I was
I
thinking,
mean,
yeah, hell yeah,
how
it was
much
fine by me. I will be
that's how
all of
much
that
that
shit.
shit was worth. That's how much that's what
Yeah.
happens when you sell your religion and you have no actual moral intent behind it. Your only intent behind it is to profit. And ironically, profit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That shit ain't.
Okay. I hear y'all on that. All right. I love y'all opinions on this. I mean, I'm conflicted. I don't know. I'm conflicted about it because, like I said, it makes sense at some point. But I'm just worried about what it could turn into in the future. How someone, because like I said, this was a fake story. If I'm understanding correctly, that there wasn't even a real gay couple that came to this. If anyone could just make up a story like this and make it go all the way to the Supreme Court, I'm just worried about what can happen if it comes to us.
It happens
Yeah, but
all the
think
damn
about it. This
time.
country got a history of doing that shit. Think about the country got a history of people being able to make up stories and shit happening.
Yeah.
Shit, that's why Emmett Till got killed. The white woman made up the
I was
story.
literally
You
thinking,
know what I'm saying? Like,
I was thinking
shit.
conspiracy shit. Like they just snatch motherfuckers. Hey, we need you to testify on this day and say that this person did this thing.
I mean, think about it. They do it with drugs now. They don't got to. They don't have to have proof that you sold drugs. Just 3 people or X amount of people coming and testify that you sold it to them is enough for them to lock your ass up and throw away the key.
Give some crack
Come
on them. Let's get out of
man.
here.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Shit, that's the easiest thing you could do. And that the way they were sentencing 100 to 1, shit, that was the easiest thing for them to do.
All right. We're going to leave this story then. And I'm going to need Sparky for just a minute. Sparky seems like she's a little uprout about this last story she was talking about with the Muslim guy. So I'm gonna give her some therapy real quick.
Word. This
You
is
would you like to have some therapy, Sparky?
Yes, I'd like to have some therapy.
You want to feel better?
Yeah, I want to feel better.
Okay. I think this next thing is going to help you feel better. We're going to play a little game right quick.
Look at the board.
We're going to show. And I know you guys know that the old ink block test that some psychiatrists do, where you got to look at the ink block and whatever you see on the card is no incorrect answer.
Rorschach.
Yeah. Wherever you see up there, there's no wrong answer. You just give what you see up there, and then we'll move on to the next card. That's kind of what we're about to do. We're about to see how these words or pictures I'm about to show you make you feel. Sparky T's going to play. She's going to have 30 seconds to just reel off what goes off in her head when she sees these certain words or pictures. Okay? All right. Now, where did my screen just disappeared on me? Not my screen, but my options have disappeared on me.
That means they only want you to show me one thing. No, sir.
That's what it is. I'm going to have to go back in and pop back out. Let me go back in and pop back out because that thing is acting up right quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so what
he
else?
He left us. Right, what me and you gonna talk about why he ain't on here, no sir?
All right, so boom. There, I was trying to think about the most conspiratorial, the most
right.
Okay, now I'm back.
Hey, what's going on with your Facebook group? You used to be telling us about the people against the white Jesus. Is that what it was?
It's evolved. I don't even keep up with these groups anymore. They've evolved into so many different things. Again, whatever people are mad at, whatever we're selectively outraged about, there's always going to be a group to pop up to like. And now everything is just bots. Honestly, this is what I was dealing with today. I was scrolling through, and one of our many episodes that we had back when we were talking about AI, I saw a picture of Ashanti that said "Happy Birthday, Ashanti," and it was posted like 3 days ago. And man, people were sharing it. Happy birthday, Ashanti. My day's good without you. Like they was really turning up like it was Ashanti's birthday. And I was like, my astrological ass, I think I would know if Ashanti was a July Cancer. I'm a June Cancer. So she is not, to make a long story short, she is born in October. So, and to make a long story longer a little bit, it was an AI picture of Ashanti. Damn near accurate. But if you zoomed in, you in the eyes and the mouth and the fingers and shit, AI pictures, they can't get like little
fingers right.
Things right. Like like 7 fingers on one hand, or they'll be like bent backwards or some shit. So, and then the people in the background ain't have faces at all, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, people like this, and the whole page is being run by an AI or a bot titled Ava photography. But yeah, people were really sharing this and talking about happy birthday, Ashanti. Like, imagine if something just like because we never see these people, because we don't know celebrities, because we don't truly, and because we live in the information era, but because it's so easy to get to, our attention spans won't allow us to do it on our own. No one took the due diligence to actually question that. And we were just a lot of people were just duped into believing that this AI image of Ashanti was her and that it was her birthday. Now imagine if you just, they wanted to cover up, the day someone died, or change the day someone died, or make it seem like they never died at all, or make it seem like this happened on this day.
People be putting articles up there all the time about people dying, they never died.
Like the circulating theme is always going to be misinformation. Like this fake ass story going all the way up to the Supreme Court. What if we get all the way up to the Supreme Court and we realize this web designer, this whole the gay person behind this web designer is AI. They're gay eye.
All right, let's go. We're gonna go with the game. Okay, so
all right,
Sparky T, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna show you your first word. It's gonna pop
Okay.
up on the screen. So the word is paycheck. So I'm gonna pop this timer and you tell me how this makes you feel. Here, there you go.
Okay, paycheck. I'm cool with a paycheck. I like, the word paycheck. Of course, that means symbolizes hopefully that you just got a paycheck and you just got paid. My other thing with a paycheck though is, damn, are you exchanging your time for money? Is somebody giving you a paycheck, or are you making your own damn paycheck? Are you deciding what you get paid, or are you letting somebody else determine that shit for you? And if you really getting it, it ain't even a paycheck, it's a payday. And hopefully it's
bars. Damn.
All right, good. So this is gonna be all right, here we go. Here's your next image.
the hell is that?
That's the submarine that sank the other week.
Oh shit. Okay.
Here we go.
Like it was
Here we go.
Like a flashlight.
All right, them motherfuckers was dumb. That's the first thing I think about when I see that damn submarine that then sink. They done went down there. What the hell you going down there to try to see the shit that's down there in the Titanic for? That makes no fucking sense. Sometimes people just got too much damn money. Like, you couldn't think of nothing better to do with your money than to get somebody to take you on a damn death trip to go see a ship that had already killed a bunch of damn people. Like, that shit don't make no sense. That was just fucking stupid. And that's why they all died.
Damn. All right.
They killed a bunch of people just like them. A bunch of wealthy white people. Like, that's what happened when the Titanic sank.
If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. All right, here's your next thing. I'm gonna pop up on the screen. And I want you to tell me how that word makes you feel.
Unknown don't make me feel bad. If something is unknown, that means that I can go out there and explore. That means there's an opportunity for me to have an experience. That means it's something for me to go and learn, something else to take myself higher. I don't worry about shit being unknown. If you know everything, then shit, you ain't got nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? If you know everything, there's really nowhere for you to go. So having things that's being unknown is not a bad thing to me. I think that that's a good thing, and it's giving me somewhere to look for something else to try to figure out.
All right.
Unknowns and they're unknown.
All right. Let's see. I mean, we did so far. We did 3. Let's see. So we got 2 more things popping up.
Okay.
And tell me how this makes you feel. If I show it up, here we go.
Oh, a belt? My mama used to have one that was that exact color, and she used to cut my ass with it. Boy, that's the first thing I thought about when I seen the belt. Getting whippings as a kid. It's crazy that a belt was something that's supposed to hold your pants up. You know, for some people, the first thing it makes you think of is corporal punishment. But as a kid, I got ass whippings. And my mom's little switch belt thing was about that color brown. So that's the first thing it made me think of when I saw it. The other thing a belt makes me think of is a lot of people need to wear one sometime and stop sagging them damn pants.
I hate that. I hate seeing people like, or you got an expensive ass belt just to like have it not buckled.
Right, like, man.
Just to show me that you got an expensive belt. And it's like, I'm not looking at your belt region, bro.
Right.
Got one more thing to show up to you. You tell me how this makes you feel when I pop it up. All right.
It makes me feel 2 things. It makes me feel 2 things. One, because my primary care physician looks damn near just like him. So it always makes me think about, for real, it always makes me think about Dr. Martin. And I'd be like, damn, they look so much alike, but they ain't kin to each other. The other thing that it makes me think about is that he's from a really, not a good family, but like a talented family, and a lot of them, they were all in the show together and everything. But I also think that he was dumb as hell for trying to do that scam shit that he did, where he had been with the noose around his neck and all that. That shit was just fucking stupid. And why would you do that? Like he did so much damage. That was just dumb. He ain't gonna never be known for nothing else, because that's all the hell people gonna think about when they think about him.
I'm putting it together now. I'm putting it together. The person that took this case to the Supreme Court for the gay web, it was Juicy, wasn't it? It's him.
Wow, yeah, that would have been crazy if that was the case.
It's him. He won a Juicy Smollett website design. And he trying to release it, because that's how he gonna market his album. Jamal Lion the King.
That shit was crazy.
All right, how you feel,
Jamal
Sparky?
Lion the King.
How you feel, Sparky?
Pretty good.
You feel better?
I feel good. I feel better.
Yeah, he got a lot of anger out on those. I thought the belt was going to be probably worse, but the submarine and Juicy brought out some feelings there.
Yeah, but the thing, I don't even be mad, but I do think that shit was really stupid. Like, I think that sometimes people just they got too much money. They got to find something to do with their money. But there's so many things that you could do with your money in this world. You could do so many things to make things better. Hey, Dr. Lamar, you could do so many things to make this world better. And instead of you doing that because you have an excess of money, you want to go and get in the damn tin can and go to the bottom of the ocean to try to find the other tin can that the damn drown. That don't make no sense.
You niggas trying to build a club.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like they get a bunch of money and sometimes they just lose their damn mind. It's like, come on, man. Come on. That was crazy.
I get bored, man. I was having this conversation about that submarine thing with my sis, and I was like, I think we all do some crazy things, whether poor or rich. It's just that rich people have the access to do even crazier stuff. Like normal, because she was saying she thought Black people don't usually do no stuff like that. We don't do no stuff like going on submarines and going bungee jumping or going to the moon and stuff, that, or not the moon, but going to space. I think Jeff Bezos and them did that. I said, I don't know if it's all because of race. I think it's kind of access. We just don't have access to those type of people till we have money to go to the moon, or we know people who are just marine biologists or not marine biologists to just have the money to go into a wanky dinky submarine to go to the bottom of the ocean. I don't know anybody who wants to go to the Titanic. No one cares because there was no Black people, at least in the movie, on Titanic. So we don't care about the Titanic. I think it's a situation, culture, where you're raised from, and access. I don't know anybody who has access to getting a tin can or a soda can and go to the bottom of the ocean. So we don't do that. We do dumb stuff too. We just don't do dumb stuff like that because we don't have access to it.
Be on a different level. Yeah, I agree with you. Access probably has a lot to do with it. That's why I said people just got too much damn money.
Yeah,
you just got too much money. Like you, and I get it. I ain't got that much money, and I get bored at times too. My ass ain't about to go get no damn submarine. No one go to the bottom of the ocean.
Nope.
Shit, I might pick up a book to read.
What if they went down there to find something? And again, we've been talking about fake stories all night. They just gave us the story that these motherfuckers are dead.
Who knows?
Like, what if they actually right on schedule with like they just wanted to, because they knew they were going to be like, I'm thinking like, because what is the point of going all the way to the depths of the ocean to find something that has been studied and studied and studied for 100 years now at this point? And the only thing I could think of is because that's not what they were looking for, or because something has happened with it and they wanted to see something or go somewhere. Like, again, the same way we don't know what's out there in outer space, we don't know what's down there in the ocean. We don't know where the fuck that leads. If it like it,
yeah, but
and again, when you have that amount of money, you want to know shit. That's why, Elon Musk and Richard Branson want to go to fucking space. That's why I can slightly understand why, not even slightly, fully understand why someone would want to journey to the depths of the ocean, because it contains mad secrets, mad treasures. People think, you could run into, some pirate ships that were carrying hella booty. You know what I'm saying?
About to get your ass on the submarine and go down there and look for the Titanic?
I think I would send the camera. I would send a mechanical submarine down.
Gosh, you would send a camera. You ain't getting your black ass in the
Yeah.
submarine.
I would send the rope. So that's why I'm saying, why as a person would I want to take my physical being down there to the depths of the ocean unless I don't plan on coming back? Or yeah, you know what I'm saying? Again, we think they got lost. What if they found what they was looking for?
What they was looking for. I got you.
Well, they got what they were looking for.
Oh, they got it.
We just get the story. Hey, they dead, y'all. So don't worry about them. Don't think about them no more. Let 10, 15, 20 years go by before you even because what's their names? Anybody know their names right off the bat? All the people who's on the sub.
Because we knew who it was when they said something. The ship said we already knew who it was. We ain't had to look. We knew we were like, nope, that ain't none of us. We ain't getting on no nothing that's being controlled.
These were billionaires, though. These were billionaires. These were people that had power and influence within our world. Because if you have money, you have motion. These are people that were these are people that were probably connected to these families that run everything. So again, this could be an excursion to another. They probably down there trying to put fucking United States of America flag in Atlantis.
I was about to say they might be, it could be, they could be down there exploring some shit. Maybe, how when the Black Panther was the people that lived underwater and this and that and blah, 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 blah. It could be something as simple as that.
It's like the richer you get, the dumber you do some dumb stuff. Like you name your kids stupid names, you dress ugly, and you be trying to be curious. Like I ain't trying to go no Titanic. I remember I went to Mexico. Now I ain't got it right. I went to Mexico and they had like this light tower, a lighthouse, and they were like, well, if you go up the stairs, you can't come back down because the Mayan people were shorter and the width of the steps was short. I looked up. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. That ain't for me. I'm not doing that. Because if I get up there and I can't get down, then no. I'm not going on no roller coaster rides because I ain't have control over. Like, I'm just not doing all of that. And I think that's Black people. We're not that adventurous because our walk of life is different.
We do different things.
Yeah,
I'm adventurous. I like roller coasters and stuff. I like bungee cords. I do different things. I do some. I want to go skydiving. I want to do some things, but that's probably the extent.
Yeah. Look at Will Smith. Remember that the deepest pool or something like that? Yeah. Will Smith, he jumped in like the deepest pool in the world or whatever it is. You remember in different countries?
Word. Like
he did that. But I'm like, here we go. Got money, trying to be stupid. Then you name your kids something stupid, like Apple or something stupid, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't think it's just stupid. I think it's about experience. And too, because that's why you travel as well. Like you might not go into that lighthouse in Mexico, but you went to Mexico. You're not Mexican, Dr. Lamar. Are you Mexican? I don't want to assume you're
Black.
I don't want to assume you're.
Shut up.
You don't even know. I'm 17%. Like.
No, we Black.
Of course. But yeah, you do it for the experience. Like you know what I'm saying? You want to go different places. Like I wouldn't want to be caught in a volcano by any measure at all. But to see a natural wonder like that, like with some of the natural wonders this world has to offer, I can totally there's ancient wonders of the world. Like that we got you go to see the Eiffel Tower. That's a modern wonder of the a wonder of the modern world. But that's something that could potentially collapse and fall on you.
Right, and I'm down looking up like, oh, that's a nice picture. Let me give me a picture of that. I ain't going up there.
A lot of people love to be all the way up there. Do you want to
be
that
girl? She tried to climb up the Statue of Liberty for what?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, let's see. And like a person that lives in New York, you're like, look at all them tourists up there going up to the y'all really because it's whatever to you.
I think it's just because rich people are always looking for new challenges. They've met everything that normal middle class or lower class people are trying to do every day. They've done all that, so they got to invent stuff to be challenging. They got to go fight
in this country. The biggest challenge is financial.
to be a challenge to life because they're just bored, and it's also adulation. I think those guys want adulation from people because they've gotten it enough from just having money, so they're trying to look for something else. That's why they go climb Mount Everest, go to the deepest depths of the ocean, go fight a grizzly bear or something, because they just run out of challenges and now they're bored. And why do you think? Why do you think some rich people end up killing themselves? It seems like they have everything, but it still ain't enough.
Because if you don't have family or people to share that mass amount of wealth and riches with, or at least a stable team of people, like people that you call family, people, loved ones, to share that with, all you have when you go will be your accomplishments, because you can't take the wealth with you when you die.
Right. Or your
accomplishments. So you either leave that to people to spread to more their loved ones, and you keep it going, as these wealthy families have been doing for generations and generations and generations. That's where the term generational wealth comes from. Or if you don't have anyone to do that with, it just goes to you either donate it to charity, or all you have is what people will remember you by. That's the guy that ate 1,000 hot dogs in one sitting. That's the guy that stuck his hand in every fucking geyser in the United States. That's the guy who went to every beach in Africa and punched a shark. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely agree. It's about adulation. It's about what people will remember about you when you are no longer here to talk about yourself, or when there's nobody around to talk about you.
Yeah, and people like that probably boring.
They gonna remember that they ass died on the submarine trying to go find the damn Titanic.
Yeah, and it wasn't even no windows. It was
unless they come back, unless they come back at a time like
now if they come back, this gonna be some shit like Manifest. Now we get into the TV show.
It's gonna be like 100 years.
I'm telling you. Of years, and here they come. The 4400.
I put all of my future fortune on this right now. In 100 years, they gonna come back, and they gonna come back up from out the ocean, and they gonna be dripped in like mad fucking aquatic marine type jewels, and they gonna have a new type of they gonna have a different type of civilization. I'm telling you, 100 years, they're gonna come out the ocean, and everybody gonna be like, "Oh shit, it's them niggas that we thought was dead back when they went in that submarine and went to go."
They're gonna come back as Aquaman and his people.
They're gonna ride the Titanic out of the ocean, and then it's gonna turn into a yacht that they throw a gigantic party on, and they're gonna be playing "Welcome Back" by Mace.
Okay.
All right, let's move on, guys.
That's a vivid imagination.
Let's move to the next story. So we're going to do the leave it or medicated thing here next. The first story we're going to talk about, are y'all familiar with NBA star who hasn't really done too much because he stays injured, but he eats a lot, Zion Williamson from Duke? Y'all familiar with that guy?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been hearing about him.
A lot of potential, but he seems to be always injured. I think a lot of it doing because he's overweight for the game, but dude's hurt all the time. But that's not even the story.
He added shape.
The story with him is, and the leave it or medicate is going to actually deal with the girl. Zion Williamson, he did this gender reveal with his current girl at the moment, and he posted it on every social media platform that would post it. Talked about how happy he was to have a child, be welcomed to the world. Made a video talking about, I know you're not here yet, but once you get here, let you know that you got two parents that love you and will be here for you regardless of what happens. You know, here's a picture of them right here, the two. You know, like she's a little over halfway done, I'm guessing, with the pregnancy. And
you go cheesy girl.
Yeah. It's a bum ass fit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like she looks amazing. She's glowing. Like she understood the assignment. My man's really just got on black shirt, black pants, like for your gender reveal, my guy. See, this is exactly why everyone should have seen it coming, because he moved exactly like this, and I don't even have to say exactly. Go ahead.
And cheesing like you're getting ready to get some chicken nuggets
Like
as a
he knew he
2-year-old.
done did some fuck shit, because this is exactly how a them fuck child like you look like a nigga that used to yup in his black tea.
All right, so Zion Williamson, said doing the gender reveal, but after that post was revealed, some young lady named Mariah Mills, who was a former porn star on OnlyFans, said, "This is news to me. I didn't know he had somebody else in the mix. He has been messing with me these past few months." This is her right here. Her face looking like a porcelain doll here. Looks like it'll crack under pressure. She has gone on a tirade against Zion and say, "Hey, you were supposed to be with me. You paid for me to be, messing with you. I let you spit in my mouth, a bunch of other things.
I paid for that.
Doing a bunch of different things and stuff." And then has been kind of threatening him lately with releasing a sex tape that they made together, probably amongst many sex. I don't know what you call it, sex tape. Still, it's recorded on her phone. And she's been posting it that she's going to release it through, not Instagram, but she's been posting on Twitter saying she's going to release it. And she wanted the New Orleans Pelicans to release Zion Williamson because of what he did, which is, I guess, play the women. And just a bunch of other posts. Let me see. Let me put a couple of them up here. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Better pray I'm not pregnant too, because I'm definitely late. Zion Williamson. Put ad up here. I was with you last week in New Orleans, and you couldn't tell me you had a random thought pregnant after all I've done for you. Zion Williamson. I let you.
Why his baby mama gotta be a random thought? Like, you random.
I let you F me so many times without a condom, and this is what you do to me, a hood rat that does CPN. Is she a nurse? I don't know. Does that mean something else? You putting my life in danger, messing with all these hoes raw. I warned you about trapping type hoes, Zion Williamson, and you didn't listen to me. I know the games. F you and congrats again. What a condescending remark. The bill was too high, so you had to scrap for crumbs when you couldn't see me or I was busy. Couldn't even impregnate a real porn star, Zion Williamson.
There's this theme of porn stars getting pregnant now. Thanks a lot, Drake.
Right. Drizzy. It's another chick that went out there against Zion too, though. This one here wasn't the only one.
Right.
It was another girl that came out. Somebody else that came out too. Matter of fact, because I wanted to look it up today, it was somebody else that came out besides her. Yep.
What I don't get is, and I'm not gonna act like I haven't seen a Mariah Mills video. Ma'am, I've seen you have unprotected sex with multiple people, sometimes multiple people at multiple times. I don't get, did he promise you a relationship, or did he pay you for sexual relations? Because that's kind of what your job is.
He did pay her. That's the thing. Let me finish this thing right quick, and we'll get back into that. So she said, I motivated you to get back in shape. This is what I was talking about. I let you F me all kinds of ways and fill me on your phone, Zion Williamson, and you impregnate a low-budget porn star DNA test, or I'm done. I told you was going to be the next king next to LeBron. I motivate you. BM is your baby mama, I'm guessing. It's the reason you gain weight. She toxic. I hate this for you that honestly, Zion Williamson, you hurt me with this one. I couldn't sleep last night, possibly because you were tweeting. I let you spit in my mouth last week. And when we effed, you could have told me you had another whore pregnant. How was that going to work? I'll move this out of the way. How was that going to work moving us both to New Orleans? You think I would have found out, Zion Williamson?
And here's where it reveals itself. She got she didn't get emotionally involved. She got sold the dream. You thought that you were about to get chose by this young NBA nigga. Now, young NBA niggas, this should teach you a dumbass lesson that y'all dumbasses need to continue to fucking learn. Stop messing with porn stars. Stop messing with Instagram women.
They
Stop messing
need love
with women
too.
out, especially if you're gonna claim a woman out in the open. Stop cheating on women, especially with porn stars, because these are women that literally built their following off of fucking and letting people see it. You think you having sex wouldn't be even more leverage for her OnlyFans? Not only do y'all get to see me fuck now, y'all get to see me fuck somebody that you know. Like, not only do we as a culture love sex, we love celebrity sex. Anytime a celebrity drops a sex tape, even if we don't want to see it, we want to see it.
Well,
Like,
here's what somebody brought to light to me, because I don't know her like that. I don't know of her work, but through this, I did some research. She only made these videos with white people, and you want to release a sex tape, threatening to release a sex tape with a black guy, but you wouldn't do any scenes with black people in porn. You only did it with white people. Don't know if that means anything, but I think that's kind of strange. You
child support and extortion.
Yeah, because none of those white people in porn that she was fucking, at least, are millionaires.
Ah, that's a good point.
Yeah, extortion.
And they also
but the reason why she probably only wanted to have sex with white people in porn is because that keeps her value up. Once she sleeps with a black dude, that takes her value down.
Yeah.
And then other certain white people and shit like that won't want to fuck with her at that point. So as long as she just stays with white, as long as she just stays with white dudes, though, that keeps her dollar value up.
A lot of black porn stars do that. Shit, a lot of black OnlyFans girls do that. They literally have a whole section of OnlyFans girls that's about I'm a black girl and I'm only for, like, I'm a slave. I'm a slave.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And I was telling my cousin this the other day, by no stretch of the word, any of that stuff. But I told him, I said, he married a white girl. I said, y'all
white
black men
masters only.
Yeah. I said, y'all will have sex, marry a white girl that white men don't want. And as soon as you have a baby bomb, other white people definitely don't want her. Now we got to invite them to our cookout. And you're exactly right, Sparky. That's right. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here is the leave it or medicate it. Here's the premise. Mariah Mills was well within her right for how she reacted from finding out Zion Williamson had another woman pregnant. Leave it if you agree with that premise. Medicate it if you disagree, and then you tell us why. Okay. So that being said, LT, I'll let you go first. Let me get the clock up here. Where is my clock? Oh, here we go. All right. First of all, do you want to leave it or medicate it?
Leave it is the...
Leave it if you agree. You agree with the premise that Mariah Mills was well within her right to react the way she did from finding out Zion Williamson had another woman pregnant or even had another relationship going on.
I'm going to masturbate it. Excuse me, medicate it.
Nah, that's after the show. All right. So you say medicated?
Word.
Okay. Tell us why.
Ready? Go!
LT, did you freeze? I think he froze. Let me pause the clock. He paused right when he was about to talk. You're not moving yet. I heard your voice.
What about now? Am I moving now?
Yeah, you're moving now. I think you're there.
Yeah.
So I'll start.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, I'm gonna medicate it because, again, she got sold a dream, and I should have did my Googles real quick. I'm pretty sure Mariah Mills is older than Zion Williams. This was obviously a publicity stunt because, again, this is something we've just been seeing with what's her name, Brittany Renner or some shit. Like, is she? There's a surplus of older porn star women or just older cougars that are out here literally sack chasing, to quote my girlfriend, sack chasing these young athletes because they know that they're They know they're driven by a few things: money and sex. It seems like she's more upset that she thought she was about to get the treatment that the woman that he is showing off on social media got. But again, ma'am, I don't want to disrespect her too much because she already does a that for a living, but you know what I'm saying, it's the living she made. I think you made a very good point about, you've been fucking white men on camera for that's literally your career and how we know you, but the minute you fuck with a black man, you act as though you didn't know what pretense he was fucking with you with. Like he was paying you. That's why he was able to spit in your fucking mouth. Like, and I've literally seen people, I've literally been able to watch that happen to you and so much more for the free, for the low skis, like literally sometimes not even because I want to, just because that's the ad that popped up and I'm trying to watch this movie. But it's real weird. I guess that's the best word to describe anything that's happening these days. Everything is always sex based. Everything is always expose based. We always want to expose and pull out the skeleton in someone else's closet. And everything is done for money and clout. Everything is done for fame or fortune, but I'll settle for fame. Infamy. You muted right now, Red. All right, so free Palestine. That's
All right. All right, Sparky T, I'll let you go next. You want to leave it or medicate it?
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna leave it.
All right, go ahead.
Are you ready? Go!
The only reason I'm gonna really say I'm gonna leave it is because I'm sure that he, told her a bunch of lies or whatever, the pretense of the relationship was. But we don't ever know. Maybe he did make her think that he was gonna wife her or that she was gonna be, you know what I'm saying, his main woman. I mean, I get the whole he was paying her to have sex and all that, and she should have been wise enough to know. But the nigga whole life moved to the New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was doing and leaving her where she was at. He moved her there for easy access and to be right there with him, which which would have gone along with, she thought that she was going to be the main person. He's a public figure. She's a public figure. He should have known better to know that if it was going to go awry, that she was going to go out online and she was going to do all this. Why didn't he protect himself better? Why didn't he protect himself better? So the fact that she found that things weren't what they thought it was going to be and she blasted his ass, why not? Why didn't she have that right? Why didn't she have a right to bring the receipts? If she wouldn't have brought the receipts with the texts and any of that, niggas would have swore she was lying or this or this or that. So she brought the proof to back up what she was saying happened. She went far to the left and she did all that. And even in some of the shit she said, she sounded stupid. Because she said something about when she was there, why you couldn't tell me you had another whore pregnant, calling her own self a whore, basically. But that's part's neither here nor there, even though that's what she did. She had the right to do it. You get people in their feelings, and that's when people start really, really, really getting hurt. People think that it's one thing and they find out that it's not. That's when people start going crazy, going off the rails. People have killed people for less than that. And when you surprise people, when you embarrass people like that, she probably had to pick her face up off the ground. So that's why she went in so hard on them.
All right. Dr. Lamar, do you want to leave it? You agree with the premise that Mariah Mills had every right to react the way she did after finding out that Zion Williamson got another chick pregnant, had another relationship? Or do you disagree? Medicate it. And if you medicate it, tell us why you want to medicate it. Oh,
I'm leaving it because she had every right to say and do what she did.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm going to leave it because she had every right to say and respond the way she did. The funniest part to me was how you were reading. It was like Zion Williamson. I thought that was the funny part, but she's in her feelings right now. Who knows what he could have been telling her. He could have been like, look, we're going to get married, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And now she found out somebody pregnant on social media. So she probably embarrassed because her friends, family is probably like dragging her, because I know I would be like, damn, you ain't know he was going to do that. I would too. So yeah, I mean, she had every right. She's right now, she's hurt, but Sparky's right. What she did was too, is she included herself, like, yeah, and now you did this with someone else. So she included herself with another thought and all this, another whore. That means you're calling yourself a thought and a whore. So you're putting yourself in that whole situation with the other thoughts and the other whores. But these basketball players, I didn't forget basketball players and rich people, men, period. Like, when you lay down with these women, you got to know social media is powerful, and you will get dragged and go viral very quickly. It's no longer where it's like a lie. No, people bringing them receipts, so you better be careful of who you lay down with. And that's just really what it is. And now the attention gonna get off on him with his basketball playing, and now it's gonna focus on her. She's gonna get more followers, and he's benched right now. Next thing you know, he'll be traded or off the team, period. That's just it. Sorry. I mean, he need to be in a damn gym somewhere and lifting some weights instead of lifting some thighs, because that's his money, that's his career. That's what he needs to be doing. He'll be like my cousin, 6'8", pumping gas. Not saying there's nothing wrong with the gas station, but he could have been on an NBA team, I believe.
I think you are saying there's something wrong with pumping gas. I don't know the way you said that.
No, because
you got to be under 6 foot pumping gas, and ain't no tall niggas pumping gas.
I mean, let me tell you something. The expensive gas is I'm about to go date a butcher or a gas attendant. Okay, but yeah, my cousin looking stupid pumping gas. I'm not saying that is anything wrong pumping gas, but you had all this stuff. The scouts is coming to the house, giving him money. He can't. I mean, he looks so stupid.
You can pretty much put that with anybody. You can't be tall doing any profession. If you tall and a teacher, you in the wrong profession. You tall and you're a nurse, you're in the wrong. People say that all the time. Like, why didn't you play basketball? All right, because I just didn't want to do it. You stupid. You could have been an NBA player. Instead, you come in here as a rocket scientist. You stupid.
He's stupid. Yeah. He the one was doing that shamrock, whatever, that little move, the shamrock, whatever. He was doing that too. Like I said, the scouts was coming to my cousin's house. They was living in the project. I mean, giving them tons of money, bought him a Range Rover, and now you pumping gas.
Yeah.
Like, you look real stupid. And it's them thoughts. One of wine and dine them with counterfeit money. I'm like, black people ain't doing that kind of counterfeit like that. Like, but you doing it, so okay. But hey.
All right. Yeah. Let me go right quick then. I'm going to medicate it.
Are you ready? Go!
I think she should have been able to express herself the way she did after, finding out he cheated on her. He was wrong for lying to her. But you are a porn star / OnlyFans person. What did you expect that you were going to be treated like? NBA players / rich people are not going to wife up a porn star, X or not, or OnlyFans stars. All the things you said you did in there, you sound like you love to be disrespected. So he probably didn't think it was going to be any different. Not telling you that he got some time with him. Nobody wants to wife that up. They have a brand and a reputation. Not saying Zion was right for what he did, but there is a brand that every rich person is going to try to build up to make them multimillionaires to billionaires, make them wealthy. You can't get wealthy with a porn star sex worker on your arm. There's none of them. They can't find one billionaire that's done that. Everything they do with a sex worker is done in private, and you'll never find out unless there's some controversy. So she should have known that off bat. If she didn't do anything to rehab her personality, which was a sex worker, then Zion Wilson wasn't going to be with her. Again, Zion was wrong, 100%. but to threaten to release a sex tape, if he is, because she said she's possibly pregnant, what good would that do to release a sex tape and further embarrass your future possible father by releasing a sex tape? You're going to embarrass yourself and him. Why even go that far? I understand being mad, telling that you lied and stuff, but to threaten to release a sex tape, that to me, that was petty to go that far. Fine with all the other stuff, talking about what he did and what he promised her, but you can't be surprised that he didn't want to put her on her arm.
That's literally what you pay for sex for. You don't pay for sex for the woman's company. You pay for sex for her to leave or for her to be discreet and quiet about the sex that you had, especially if you're rich and wealthy, because you have an image to maintain. Like Epstein and them literally had a whole island so that they could go do their freaky dicky sex shit on the side. Like
I just have a hard time believing she thought that was a relationship.
Like, and also, yeah, like to exactly what you were saying. Like, ma'am, I've seen you be slapped in the face with penises.
You okay?
That still didn't stop him from going up in her raw, though.
Yeah,
you're right. But
If what she said is correct,
like,
you know what I'm saying? It didn't stop him from doing that.
You're right, because that's what he's seen of her. That's the way she presents herself. So that's the capacity in which I want to use her. I got
that part. No, I got that part.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
He was even
like
a dumbass though, because if you know that she's been with all of these people, especially you talking about you done seen her get slapped in her face with dicks. Clearly, she done been with multiple. You know what I'm saying? But you still gonna go up in that raw?
Yeah.
Like you're still gonna go up in that raw.
That's stupid.
He did. That's what she was saying in the Texas. How many times you without a condom? If you literally did that, that makes him even like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't even value your own life.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So some of what she said might make me be like, well, if he was stupid enough to do that, I'm sure he was telling her all kinds of pillow talk and everything that she wanted to hear so he could get everything that he wanted. He clearly wasn't thinking clearly. The fact that you would have sex with her raw, you were not thinking clearly. So I don't put nothing past
It takes
him.
two people to have sex. She was letting him have sex with her raw because he was paying such a handsome amount. Honestly, she played herself out of position, because if you really wanted him to take care of you and provide you with the lifestyle, you could have retired from porn starring altogether and just been the side chick, the silent side chick of this wealthy NBA athlete. He already moved you out to where you wanted to be, but because she was emotionally involved, like, again, I don't think there's, like, the reason I was talking about the dicks in her face, because when we're talking about her family being embarrassed or her being embarrassed,
got you.
Nobody was claiming each other in this situation. He wasn't claiming her, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't claiming him. How do I know? Because she still had an active OnlyFans. She was still an active sex worker. She was not saying, hey, y'all, I'm not doing this no more because my boyfriend Zion.
Right.
Like, no, like, come on, like this. Like, we could talk about emotions getting involved, but this was a transactional relationship. She played herself out of position by wanting more than what she was getting. People always do that. We always want more than what we're getting because we see someone else get something that we don't have. You saw the other woman get claimed. But again, he doesn't know you in a capacity in which I can claim you, and you don't fit into the function in which I can claim you in my career. If I was a rapper, maybe I could get away with, wiping up a porn star, especially if I'm probably pimping you out or some shit. If I'm dressing you up like Ice-T dresses up Coco. You know what I'm saying? That's what it would be on, because you are a porn star. He is an athlete. His face can go on a Wheaties box.
Yeah.
If your face goes on a porn flakes box, on a box of
porn flakes. Damn.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Let's see. And you did mention one outlier with Ice-T, but that's Ice-T's brand to have a woman like that on his side.
Brand is also pimping is a part of his brand. He loves
that works for him.
So, and that works for a gangster ass rapper like Tracy, not for a college. One, he's a college man. So he went to Duke. So an athlete can always be a potential star for the youth. Kids are buying his jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Like kids are coming out to these games. He can't show up with a woman that's known for getting a fucking gangbang happening to her on camera, like as her profession. Even if it's OnlyFans now. Yeah, I can't show up with the girl that y'all watch pee. You know what I'm saying? Like
or get peed on.
But that's why I pay this woman, because again, I'm wealthy. Just like any wealthy person, you get too rich and you get bored.
Love too?
Just like them people went to the bottom of the ocean, I want to go to the bottom of some.
What were you saying?
I was just saying, you don't think that sex workers deserve love too, or that they want love?
They definitely deserve love, but again, love doesn't start with a transactional relationship. This ain't Pretty Woman. I'm sorry, for black women, especially for black sex workers, it don't happen like how it happened to Julia Roberts.
Yeah, that was a movie. That's definitely a fairy tale, and that's a good point. If it was not a transactional thing and she was trying to rehab her image and she was out of the industry, I would say
go through a Christian rebrand like Black China.
But yeah, Black China, or there's other ones out there like that. Mia Khalifa, I think, is one of them too. That's trying to rehab her image, but it's hard because people don't forget, because that image and those videos are still out there. And you got people constantly watching your current girlfriend or wife. It's embarrassing for someone who doesn't want that. Again, he was stupid, Zion Williamson, going raw on her and going in multiple women and stuff like that. He knew what he was doing. I'm just saying she can't be surprised at how she presents herself, what she still does, and being paid to hang out with this guy.
Not even hang out. No, I'm not paying you to, because again, there's no pictures of them together. I'm not paying you to show up to events with me. I'm not paying you to be on my arm. I'm paying you to be where I need you to be so that I can get this nut off and then get back to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then be quiet about it also, because again, he's doing literally nothing he's doing something that every athlete has ever done. Like, how many kids does Muhammad Ali have from how many different marriages? Michael Jordan got a child that's younger than me.
Yeah, he's with a woman. He got twins. He's married.
Twins? Them like little kids, aren't they?
Yeah. He just had a baby like a couple years ago.
It's something that wealthy people do. They spread their fucking seed because they know that I'll be able to take care of them.
Yeah, they can afford the risk.
I can afford the risk.
I don't mean he was right, but
he wasn't right. But also, you are a person that I've seen you perform sexual acts on camera without protection. So I can only assume that you care about yourself, right? That means you made the people that you did these videos with get tested. That means you get tested. So that means you should be safe to do that with.
You're a dumbass.
This is your profession.
Yeah,
like that is a rule in the porn industry. They do make them get tested. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they gotta get tested. But then, what if the virus get past the test in between test 1 and test 2?
That's always a factor. But again, that's what people pay extra for. Like
it's also on her too, because she had sex raw as well too.
I'm not saying that it's not on her, but he is the one that was going home and got a bitch impregnated.
Yeah.
And he done been out here, you know what I'm saying, having sex with the sex worker unprotected. Like you the whole lot made a baby.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you picked up from the sex worker, your baby that's coming out might have that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he had a duty to the other chick that he was with, not be out here, you know what I'm saying, laying pipe unprotected. Nah.
But what is it like? She was really asking the New Orleans Pelicans to release him from his contract. Like that's what
probably
she wanted.
Probably for one of them. You know how they be having them dumbass clauses in there about
morality clause or something.
Yeah, morality clauses or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, so she probably was trying to get on that, and not that she was, what she had was substantial enough, but probably trying to go based off of that is where she was coming from.
But how, if you're trying to, she started her statement by release him from his contract, because if your main concern is that he got this other woman pregnant, he got you pregnant, how is he going to take care of either child if he does not have a job?
Exactly.
I mean, I got that, but when the people be doing stuff that's immoral and that they feel like it's bringing bad press and shit to them teams, they don't be giving a fuck how they can take care of them kids. They let their ass go.
You got to think about it like this: this bad press that she's bringing on her own, something that she was cool with all up until this point, could cause them. What if they actually do say, "Hey, Zion, this is making the team, making the organization look bad. You're kicked off the team. And matter of fact, you can't even play NBA no more." He gonna have to try to go over. Like, what if he actually
he gonna be pumping gas?
This is like, and so that hurts everyone involved. That hurts him.
How you pumping gas at 6'8"?
That hurts the other baby mama. That hurts both kids. No one is getting
think
taken
about
care
it. She
of.
don't care about him. She don't care about that hurting the other baby mama. And she ain't pregnant by the nigga. So ain't none of it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, she just mad and spiteful. She a woman scorn.
She did show a pregnancy test.
She said, "You better hope that I'm not pregnant."
No, she and I wish I forgot the picture. She had one where she posted a positive pregnancy test. I don't know if it's fake or not.
Oh God!
Yeah, but did she say in the comments, "You better hope that I'm not pregnant too"? Because think about it. If you had a positive pregnancy test, why would you be saying, "You better hope that I'm not"? Shit, I got one right here, motherfucker. I got you.
She posted a positive one on another opportunity too. So I was like, oh wow.
Now again, that could be misinformation. That could be her just trying to put the pressure
that could have
on
been
this
her trans
motherfucker.
pregnancy test.
Yeah,
that could be like it could be completely somebody else's. But again, she's making emotional responses when, again, if your main thing, that's why I gotta know is like, did you want to be taken care of or did you want a relationship for this man? Because again, she did not set herself up to be in the best position to be someone, to be in a relationship with a professional athlete.
The other thing he did that was dumb as hell is, if you knew you had unprotected sex with her, why you didn't make her take a plan B?
That's probably, I mean, you pay for that. You give her extra. Hey, I sent you a stack. Go to the clinic. I sent you this. Go get that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That he had too much trust in her. He trusted her by hitting her raw, and you trusted that she was gonna go take a plan to get rid of any possible. Come on, man.
They had some type of relationship. They already had these discussions. He could have even I'm saying, well, wait a minute. You're right, even with the plan B, but what about damn NDA? I guess they don't even hardly work anymore.
Because he's young. He a young athlete. He not thinking about an NDA. He thinking, as long as I break her off this bread, it's gonna be cool. Like that, because that's what they listen to in
got
music.
The right people around him.
Yeah.
Because they would have let him know. You need to watch that bitch.
Yeah.
That's probably people that are taking money from him also.
That's why he's having the problem he's in with the NBA now. Not counting this part where he can't keep his weight down, he's hanging with the wrong people, and he possibly could get traded from the Pelicans. He's being irresponsible his career right now.
Like little John Morant out here with all these guns.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Don't they football? They give you like a health coach. Don't they give you one for basketball too?
Nah, you got to get your own. I mean, they give you coaches, but you don't have to listen to them.
Yeah. You can
he has a clause in his contract that he has to keep his weight under a certain limit, and he doesn't get certain bonuses with his contract, but he's free to really do whatever he wants. But that's on him.
Stupid. He remind me of what's his name? Camardi.
Place that she thought she was going to get.
He reminds you of who, Dog Lamar?
What's his name? Camardi. Remember he used to play for the Jets. He had about 11, 12 kids.
I know different women. The name is familiar. I know you're talking about Antonio Cromartie.
Yes. Yeah.
Him.
Same thing. One of his baby mamas went up there and blasted him. And then the next week, the wife went up there through Madison, New Jersey, talking about she was racially profiled. Now, Madison, you guys may know, but Madison is a small little town. There was no way she was racially profiled. Then what ended up happening, end of the season, they cut him. Now he owed child support for all them babies. And then he took a knee too. Yeah.
All right.
Too much
All right.
drama.
Let's move to the next story. India Ari. Anybody? Some India Ari fans in here?
I used to like some of her stuff.
I like India.
Yeah, India's fine, but you know she came out and had some statements about the Essence Festival, which featured Janelle Monáe and Megan Thee Stallion, and she didn't like how some of the acts were representing women at the festival.
Did you see him over there with the gospel pastors and them women was over there twerking? Now that was hilarious.
I ain't even see the shit.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah,
I didn't see any of the Essence Festivals. I don't think it was
Coy
for me.
Leray, and it was Vado over there. All of them was over there twerking, and Krishan.
I'm tired of seeing Chloe Loret. Like, little booties matter, don't get me wrong, or whatever the fuck. But I'm tired of seeing that little looking girl. She looks like a young teenage girl. And it's
All right, let me read what India Reed was saying about seeing these performances at the Essence Festival. She said, the issue is what is context? Humanity does everything, but does everything belong on a stage? No. Is everything for kids? No. Is everything for everybody? No. So when we as a culture make something like this mainstream, it shows a lack of discretion and discernment. To those in the comments who laugh at anyone who want these things for our culture, you certainly have that right. Just as many folks have the right to want our mainstream international export out of music to show us in a respectful light. I'd like to go on the record saying this won't age well, and that's my issue. I love Janelle and Meg the way I love us all, and I don't like this moment. Don't bother debate me, laugh out loud. I don't care, and I did this for 25 years. I'm done. So read, ponder, or don't. That's one of her comments about this. I'm trying to find the other.
Agree.
Trying to find the other thing she said about this Essence Festival thing. I had it up here. Damn it. Let me show the video up here. There's a video of what she was talking about, basically. Let's see. Where's the video? And damn it. Can't find the damn video. I had a video up here, too.
Is it Janelle Monáe's titty again?
That was on one of the videos, but not this particular
Her
one.
titties been everywhere, man. That shit it's weird a little bit. Like,
Yeah, but didn't Janae say before she was gonna be respectful and all this because she's non-binary and all of that? Didn't she just say that a couple of years ago?
But how
she did, but there have been so many
pulling your titty out at the in the concert?
Exactly.
She didn't. I can't say moon to people because it wasn't her butt, but she pulled her titty out in the concert and flashed the people. Now she had a pasty over her nipple, but clearly you were planning on flashing them. That's why you had the pasty on there already.
You're right.
She's done that
So
more
it's
than
like-
2 times lately. That seems to be her calling cards, just flashing her titties.
Because after she said she was comfortable in her body, she was comfortable in her body. You know, when you comfortable in your body, that's cool, but that don't mean that everybody wants to see the shit. You know, and some people I'm sure do want to see it, but what about the ones that don't?
Yeah, our bodies have always been our main selling point. Our bodies should, like, at what point do our bodies become sacred again?
All right, let me show this right quick. I just found it. There we go. Here's kind of what she was talking about. I ain't put no sound on it, not to get any copyright strike.
Oh God!
Wow.
This was Megan Thee Stallion's.
Oh God!
Here.
This is a lot.
This is Essence, yeah. This is kind of what she meant by context. You know, Essence seemed to be a more respectable type of event. And you would, if y'all could really hear the words that were being saying, pretty much sit on the dick, shake it on the dick. That's pretty much kind of what she was saying, Megan Thee Stallion. And Janelle Monáe, I don't know if it shows in this video, she was kind of clapping it on, wanting this to continue.
Lord Jesus. Whew.
This seems like the BET Awards at this point.
The BET Awards even has more coof than this. If they're gonna shake ass on stage, it's at least gonna be choreographed. You know what I'm saying? It's not just gonna be,
Because you
hey,
got to
let's get some,
remember.
because these are just they're people from the audience, right?
Yeah, but at the BET Awards, that's when Coin all them was up there next to the pastor that used to come on Sunday.
Either
Yeah,
way,
but on the
this
BET Awards, that's still televised.
Jones.
So
Yeah.
they are under certain things, that they can and can't do on TV. Essence is a live show. People pay to go to a live 3-day conference or festival or whatever, however many days they paid.
Lord
So
Jesus.
it was live, so they can do whatever because it is not being televised.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
think
why they get more loot.
I think
Not
what
that they
she
should.
was saying though is the Essence Festival used to be for certain acts that wouldn't show this type of thing.
Yeah,
So-
we used to be Mary
Neo
J. Blige's
Soul.
and it's Neo Soul and that kind of
Yeah.
Common and those kind of people used to be. And they may have still had some of those acts.
They took the money.
They
They want to
definitely
make money this year.
Yeah,
This look like the Hoodie Awards.
Everybody's trying to
They
cater
want
to
to make
the young
money.
people.
They want viral clips. They want people talking about the Essence Fest.
Yeah, and like you said, yeah, it's going to go viral, and this is what most people are going to talk about when it comes to the Essence Festival. They're not going to talk about the neo soul artists or the ones who are talking about something important, or whatever, besides showing off their bodies.
We want people to come here, so we gotta be messy. We gotta be sexy. We gotta be motherfucking. We gotta be bold. We gotta be naked a little bit. Did a fight break out?
That's what she was
anywhere?
saying too. That's what went viral. That's the part that went viral. None of the good stuff that happened. Of course, it was that went viral.
Wow.
Well, do you agree with what she said about context being important? About she wasn't disagreeing that these things can happen, that you can have concerts where you can do these type of things, because they've been happening before. Megan Thee Stallion came out. I said we had our Little Kims and we had artists before that had sexualized performances, but you don't do these performances everywhere. You don't do it in a church parking lot or any park where kids could be around or anything like that. You do it in certain places where a certain crowd is going to be at. And I think that's what she kind of meant is it, everything isn't meant for everybody. And in this particular type of festival, Essence Festival, this was not warranted.
Right. And when you think about it, Lil' Kim even had like she would push the envelopes during that time, but not to me, not to this extreme. Maybe I'm wrong, but she would push the envelope now. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it wasn't this extreme.
Yeah. All right. So
Well, then again, that wouldn't be televised either.
That's the Leave It or Medicate. The premise of what she said about doing certain things at certain places, context matters. Do you agree with her with that premise that you should do these things at other events, not Essence Festival, not everywhere, not showing your body off everywhere, not twerking everywhere? Do you agree with that premise? Leave it. If you disagree, medicate it. Okay. And Sparky T, I'll let you go first on it. Would you like to leave it or medicate it? Based on what she says. You said leave it? Okay. Let me pop it back up here.
Are you ready? Go!
Everything is not appropriate for everywhere. Like you at Essence is something that was more family oriented and things like that. It was more of an event for all ages. And it doesn't make sense that every damn time they come on stage, they gotta feel like they either have to be half naked, shaking their ass. It's the time and the place for everything. You do it in your video. People can watch your videos if they choose to watch your videos. If somebody signed up or paid their money for that show, and you going on stage and performing that way, unless they're gonna get up and walk out, cover their eyes or whatever, you subjecting them to that. And it's just not, everything is not appropriate all the time. Like you would still be Meg Thee Stallion if you don't twerk on everything. It's okay. You ain't twerking on that damn CoverGirl commercial that you on. When you
Damn.
wanted that motherfucking cover girl money, you wanted that long corporate money, your ass ain't twerking on there. You ain't naked as fuck on there. So if it's okay that you can dial it down for something as cover girl, why you couldn't dial it down for essence? And if and that's my whole point. It doesn't have to be everywhere. And clearly, her and her team know that it don't have to be everywhere either. That's why she didn't do it for cover girl. But they know that it wouldn't have rocked for cover girl. They knew cover girl wouldn't have taken it like that. But why can't our things be the same? Is it that we have to put a clause in there? Essence has to put a clause in there that you're not going to twerk or you're not going this that cover girl might have had to? Or should you just act like you got a little bit of goof about you and a little bit of common sense sometimes? That you have younger fans and there may have been younger people there watching you. There's no reason for all of that all the time. You got to know your audience, and all audiences are not the place to just let it hang out always. It's not.
All right. Dr. Lamar, do you want to leave it or medicate it?
Leave it. I don't. Only thing I have to. I'm sorry.
Are you ready? Go.
There's nothing for me to say. I agree with Sparky and NDRE 1,000,000%, and that is it. Very unladylike, classless, slutty. 1 minute she's talking about I'm graduating college, which is fine. Then she's saying I got all this class, my mama be happy, and then this. It's an embarrassment. I agree with Sparky and India Ari. It's a time and place, and this was neither.
All right. Short. Okay, short and to the point. All right.
That's it. It
Never
was
takes the
slutty.
whole time.
And it was slutty and didn't make any sense. That's why I was like, that's like I couldn't even get the words out. Slutty didn't make sense.
All right. LT, let you go next on it. You want to leave it or medicate it?
Goddamn. What was the
Leave it if you agree with the premise that context matters. Where this is done at, twerking, showing yourself half naked, can't be done everywhere, especially at
okay. So if I'm agreeing with India Irie.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm agreeing with India Irie.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Are you ready? Go.
That's like what's the best? That's why we don't have a Source Awards anymore, because we as black men love to say that we need to be more unified, but we continue to, shoot at each other and fight each other when we go places and shit. So I definitely feel like if black women want to be seen as more than just sexual objects, more than just, things to be sexually exploited, and for more than just their bodies, they have to stop doing this everywhere that they go. I was scrolling through Instagram and saw a video of black women at in Africa, of all places, at at basically a slave port, where the slaves were taken to this last port here in Africa and then shipped out to other parts of the world. And long story short, they twerked on it. With the caption "for the ancestors." And I just thought that was distasteful. You know what I'm saying? And we're so quick to call out each other in terms of other things. When black men slip up, we are always there to let them know that you need to do better. When the black gay community does some shit, we're very quick to say, see, look at y'all look like. But we have to start. I love and appreciate the fact that India Irie was, we have to be accountable for the representation and images that we put out there to the next generation. You know what I'm saying? There are children in that audience that probably feel as though, if I want to be cool, if I want to be accepted, if I want to have a good time, I need to learn how to shake my ass. Again, there's a time and place for these things, but a festival like Essence, like if I don't even, do they even do the magazine anymore? Like, is that even a thing we care about anymore? We don't care about decency anymore, all for the sake of having fun and being attractive at the same time. We want the fortune, but we'll settle for fame. That's
All right. I'm going to leave it as well.
Are you ready? Go!
We constantly hear that Black women are the most unprotected group in the United States, and that may be a true statement. But you can't put yourself in the place to where you're in the danger zone. When you put yourself in a situation where you're inviting sex, where all your image is shown on TV is, I want sex, I do this thing for sex, this is me, sex, sex, sex. And there's no other image of you, or the dominating image of you is sexualized. You can't be mad that you're over sexualized. That's a stereotype that's been going on since we were brought over here. And the way to get rid of it is not to increase the image of sexualization, which is what is happening. Maybe it's done on purpose for the record companies that keep hiring these people who are allowed the subject matter to be put out there. We're also in control of that. I'm fine if there is a diverse image put out there, but it is on TV and in concerts over and over and over again. If I were looking on the outside, trying to figure out what Megan Thee Stallion's music is about, I would think it must be about sex and twerking. I don't listen to her albums, and it may be more than that, but that's the image that I see. If I were to now see an image of Janelle Monáe, because from what I used to see from her music, she used to be, I don't want to say simplistic, but her music touched her soul. She talked about love and other things, and she didn't show her body, and she seemed like she took pride in that. That she even talked about how she took pride in that she would never be one of those artists. And I don't know if the money wasn't there, and the money is now there, but she's all of a sudden now proud to show off her body and saying people shouldn't sexualize her body, but that's exactly what you're doing. How do you expect people not to sexualize you when you're showing a sexual object? That's why I say, yeah, it's okay to have these images out there because women are sexual beings and men are sexual beings, but we are much more than that.
But you know, a man can't just pull his dick out on stage.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't. Men don't. That's this liberation thing gets on my nerves too. It's like, man,
and
men
this only is allowed to happen because the
out.
people who control this country are men, and men want to see women naked. But guess what? They only allow Black women to do this. Taylor Swift ain't got to pull her titties out. Even as crazy as they made Britney Spears get, she ain't never had to pull her whole titties out.
And you know what? To that, Britney Spears is now pulling her titty out, but they call her crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They call her crazy when she does it.
Being a slave for us.
We just call it Monday.
But that's because she's been in this industry since she was a child.
Yeah.
Her own family has been exploiting her. And if we know that's what's happening behind the scenes to a blonde-haired white woman, the most protected person on this planet, but only protected as in they know how resourceful a blonde-haired white woman can be, because there's always going to be a section of men that want to see young blonde-haired white women. That's why "Hit Me Baby One More Time" was the biggest song when it came out, parading this grown-ass woman around, parading this little girl around in a skimpy teenage outfit. But with Black women, they don't have y'all just stop there at subtlety. They don't have y'all just stop there at being, actual sexual goddesses and the progenitors of sexual beings, as it were, because y'all aren't the beauty standard to them. You're the sexual standard. Just like Black men aren't highly prized as to be married by white women, but we're definitely prized in the sexual aspect of how women of other races want to interact with us. They're not choosing us. They're not, settling down and creating and building generational wealth with us. They're exploiting our genes. They're exploiting what we can do by giving them our culture. White women love coming in and taking Black culture or from a Black man and feeling like I'm not racist because my husband is Black and I have Black children. White women love that shit. I thought that was Andrew Garfield. They're unprotected because when the time comes, blonde hair will fall in line, unlike Black women. Now, as as aggressive as that may seem, that is true. White women vote with whatever their husbands tell them to fucking vote. That's how things get done in this country. This country is 51% women. So there are more women in this country than men. That's how so many presidents have been elected, because there's also more white women than there are other races of women. And when they go out and vote, they vote exactly for who their husbands told them to. And that's like every race, and we honestly get back to this every time we talk about it. Every race, the men and the women, protect each other a lot better than we have been taught to do or have been made so to do as black men and black women. Like white women are always going to be more protected and valued. That's why you don't see them naked unless they want to be naked. And then even when they want to be naked, they can come back and be a victim, and everyone will love and support them. Stormy Daniels, all the Playboy bunnies ever. Like there's literally seasons of the dark secrets of Playboy. The dark secrets, y'all know y'all was going here to show your titties.
Right.
But that's only for white women. If you're a black woman and you was out there showing your titties, you wanted to show your titties. You jungle bunny. You were in heat. It gets like that.
So and to bring it back to what we were talking about earlier, in what you were saying, LT, with Zion Williams and Mariah Mills, and any porn star for that matter, you represent what you put out there. Mariah Mills, that was her reputation as sex. I mean, it's really no different to me putting yourself out there with sex with porn stars or putting yourself out there with sex with music. That's how guys are going to view you, because we have nothing else to go off of. And Zion Williamson, right or wrong, you can say wrong and I'm fine with it. That's what he viewed her as a sex object. He didn't view her as a relationship material or wifey material. You know, I'm just saying that's the way guys think when it comes to women.
Like you're literally a possession when you have a price. If someone can pay you, if I can pay you to do this thing for me, and someone can come along and pay you a little bit more to do something for them, you're not a. It's literally like you're the equivalent of a really nice sports car. You cost a lot and you look good. Like I look good and I feel good inside you, but I can get a dozen of you and anyone could have you.
Well, here's an argument I don't understand. And this is what Janelle Monáe, this is her new persona now. And actually people in the comments that will say, why get mad at her because she wants to show a titty? It's just a titty. Why you guys you're sexualizing her breasts because they're just breasts. Isn't that how you're selling music now? If it was just breast, no one would pay attention to you. You wouldn't be able to go off of showing your breast because you know that's bringing attention to you. That, I don't know the name of the last video she did. It was just a video with just women on it. But it was a sexualized video. And she knows that
it was damn near porn.
It was. But if no one sexualized anything off of you, no one would pay attention to you like that. Or we wouldn't pay attention to you at that high of a rate. So we know sex sells, and you know you're banking off of that. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. She knows sex sells, and you know you're banking off of it. But why are you pretending like it doesn't? Like you're getting mad at us for drooling over it, or getting mad at you for selling it when that's not your whole persona.
That's exactly what Dave Chappelle said. Like if you see a woman, if you saw me, Dave Chappelle, the comedian, dressed as a police officer. Excuse me, I need your help. They're robbing. Excuse me. Oh, just because I am dressed this way does not make me a police officer.
But that shit is confusing though. That's how he was trying to prove.
Because you are wearing a hooker's uniform.
Yeah, but by no means should you assault a woman because she's dressed a certain way. But if that's the only image you put out there, and that's the only image you seem to be proud of.
This is what I got in my email from Spotify and Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
That's like literally thanks for, I don't even follow Janelle Monáe on Spotify. I don't even use Spotify. I use Apple Music.
Yeah.
But this is how it's like literally a generated email, and this is how it's you. Like this is what I'm
That's
seeing,
weird.
and it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. You got it, flaunt it. That's what they tell you. But come on, the age of pleasure. Come on, who's in pleasure? Because there's still black women being murdered by white women. There's still black men being murdered by authorities and police. Like there is still mass shootings by members of. Y'all remember that mass shooting by the trans shooter we stopped talking about
Last year.
like fucking
What was this year?
3
Was
months
it this
ago?
year? Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
that
you.
was this year. That was literally in March.
Yeah, okay.
We stopped talking about it. There's no more news updates on it. They haven't released any of the memoirs or none of that shit
I don't remember
because
the name.
it's a part of the community. And
Oof.
you know what? That's not good for that's not good for the agenda right now. But yeah, like this. Come on. Oh shit.
Okay, again, don't have no problem with you ever showing the image. Women are sexual, men are sexual. But if that's the only image you putting out there,
But think
and
about
where
this.
you do it at
If you're
makes a
a,
difference
I'm
too.
sorry to cut you off, but think
Go
about
ahead.
this. If you're a preteen fan of Janelle Monáe, that's what you get sent in your email, and that's what lets you know that Janelle Monáe has a new album. So again, we're saying there's nothing sexual behind it, but imagine if a transgendered artist wanted to market themselves this way. Imagine if a artist that had sexual assault allegations behind them wanted to market themselves this way. It's like, where do we draw the line on how we market ourselves when we know that we are role models for younger people? Like artists love to say, well, I'm not a role model. You should monitor what your children are doing. You should, but bitch, bitch, nigga, sir, ma'am, kids love you. You know that kids look up to you. Like Megan Thee Stallion, I love Megan Thee Stallion. And I know you make music for adults, but you have to know there are little girls in Houston that look up to you. And part of them looking up to you is them bending over and, just seeing what their needs are about.
What makes a person not be a role model, though? In any profession, whether you are a policeman, whether you're a politician, whether you work as a gas station attendant, should all people use that saying that I'm not a role model, this is just my job? Should everyone be able to use that logic then? That you don't have to be a role model, raise your kids. I don't have to be good in front of you. Because I think it's common decency to do good things around people, period, around kids and adults. But what makes it different for an entertainer? They say, oh, I don't have to show off a good face in front of your children. I understand.
Because they literally get paid handsomely, more handsome than any other profession on this planet. They literally get paid to be almost the most negative aspects of themselves. And they get told that this is what they're supposed to do. Like it's kind of fucked up in a sense because everything a celebrity or entertainer does is for their image, but it's for what will sell their image the best. And we all know conflict and drama and sex and violence sell an image the best. Yeah. So they tell themselves that they don't have to be role models because they really don't. I honestly don't have to be anything than what they pay me for. And what they pay me for is to talk about my pussy. What they pay me for is to talk about how many niggas I've shot. What they pay me for is to talk about the drugs that I love to fucking do. That's what I get paid for. My image, I can't talk about how much drugs I do, and then when y'all see me out in public, I'm like saying no to drugs or whatever the fuck. Like that would be bad for my image because then people would stop buying into the me that they think that I am, the me that I have to sell in order to, be paid these handsome amounts. Because again, it comes at your fortune comes at the expense of your morality and your integrity.
Okay. Sparky, did you have anything to add on it?
I just think a whole lot, but I don't think that you can start something that you don't want to keep up. And I think that when these artists come out, a lot of times, you know, to get the people's attention, they sex them up because we know, like you all said, sex sells. So when you come out with that image, you have to continue with that image to continue getting those same results. And so, you know, they bring them out that way. And so they continue to, you know, go that way and just try to take it further and further. I think that's with everything in life. I think in relationships, you can't start nothing that you don't want to keep up. You know, you can't wine and dine a chick at the beginning. Then you try to take her ass to McDonald's. That don't work. You know, you started out 5-star, you got to stay 5-star. Same type premise. As far as being a role model, if your ass is a public figure, guess what? You a fucking role model, whether you want to be or not. It's not about what you want to be or what you have to be. I get that you don't have to be, and I get that parents should monitor what their children are watching and all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? In a perfect world. But it's not. And if none of us ever have any accountability and we're all just able to do whatever, whenever, to whomever, in front of whoever, however, that's where our society starts to crumble and gets to the bullshit that we at today. You know, years ago, back, you know, in the 60s, 70s, even part of the 80s, you know, everything wasn't so acceptable and shit wasn't going to hell in the handbasket either. You know, it might have been veering in that direction, but it wasn't going like it is now. Now everything is acceptable. Everything is okay. And everything is about everybody's freedoms and their liberties. Cool. But when your freedom starts to infringe on what the hell I got going on, it's a problem. You know, I have somebody around me that often says, I don't care about what nobody else is doing until what the hell they doing starts to affect me. And then it becomes a problem. Like you could twerk until you 85 if you want to. As long as your twerking don't affect me. And if I'm at the Essence Film Festival, let's say with my grandkids, my granddaughter, my whatever, now your shit is affecting me. It's a problem.
I think that's empty logic when people say that. I won't say anything to no one else because it doesn't affect me. Well, when someone's beating on another woman or molesting a child, it doesn't affect you if you don't see it. But you should, if you find out it's happening, you should do something to have it stop.
But it affects us as a society as a whole. It may not have an immediate effect on you, but when that little fucker turns around and becomes a mass murderer, because whoever was doing whatever to them as a child, or they come kick your damn door in and now they raping your child, it is affecting you. It may not be, you know what I'm saying, in your face. Yeah. It may not be right directly in your face that you can see a direct correlation between how it affects you, but it affects you. We are all, you know, what we do affects the universe. It affects society. We are all connected. And so to what, and I'm not saying that you were saying anything different, but for people to walk around and act what they do don't affect other people, that's bullshit.
Right.
Feel better. You can tell yourself whatever the hell you gotta tell yourself to feel good. That don't mean that shit is true. It's a pack of lies. You know, so
we lie to ourselves
I
more than
people
we'll allow ourselves to be honest.
Yeah, that's no worse than.
You know,
I was about to say that's no worse than some people going out there and just recording accidents or fights or robberies and like, well, you know, just posting stuff and not doing anything about it.
Shit to help nobody. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
You're
I
contributing
understand
to
in
it.
some instances where people are stuck and they don't help, like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, let's say when the police are involved, you know, and they got guns drawn, people aren't necessarily quick to jump in with shit. Even in them cases, some instances, shit, like sometimes we got to do something. They can't shoot all of us, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you know, that goes wherever. But we've got to do something. Like we've got to do something. Think about it. Even some states have laws in place that if you see something happening to somebody and you don't do something, now you're negligent. Think about it. That's how Snoop's ass was on the murder case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, different states have different.
They was gonna send his ass down because you pretend or you portray yourself as a gangster.
Yeah, you know. So it's one of them things. You know, he knew that whatever was happening. No, he didn't do nothing. You know, he didn't participate, but because he didn't do anything to stop it, you know, we are all collectively affected by shit. It's whether we want to be honest with ourselves and see it, identify with it, whatever. But when we get real with ourselves, we are affected by this stuff. That we become desensitized to it. The next generation is surely affected by it. And those are the people that are going to be taking care of us in the end. So how can it not be affecting us? They may not see the short-term effect, but this shit got some long-term effects.
Yeah. Create selfish people. Like when everyone is only looking out for themselves, it creates, because we still find ways to interact with each other and impregnate each other because our population continues to grow every fucking year. So the selfish decisions that we make still end up affecting other people who are making selfish decisions of their own, which just ends up leading us to creating more people who end up making selfish decisions because they come from people who made selfish decisions. And yeah, that's what, like, is again, second time I'm quoting Tupac. We're living in the race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies.
Really, we are.
Right.
But and we only gonna keep making more of them that hate more of them that it just keeps happening over and over again. And we don't do something to stop this shit, we're gonna be in a terrible place. We already in a terrible place. We're gonna be even in a more terrible of a place.
New Jerusalem.
Facts.
Yep.
All right. Let's move to the last story for tonight. Jill Scott, probably somebody I would expect to be at the Essence Festival. Kind of in that same.
She was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought she was there.
That's where she sung that at. That's what she sung it at.
All right.
Ain't it crazy that them things happen at the same place? She's singing this and they out there twerking, showing titties and all this. It don't make sense.
And my timeline is more concerned with fucking Keke Palmer and her. I don't even know her boyfriend nickname. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, that's another story. I was gonna touch that, but
I'm sorry, we just went off. We just. All right, back to Jill.
Yeah, Jill Scott. She made what seems to be a remix of the Star Spangled Banner, and it caught my eye. I was like, "Wow, this is nice." And I'm gonna go ahead and play it. I got the video for it. We're gonna hear the emotion and the soul that she put behind it. Let's see. Hold on. Find it right quick. And we're gonna give our thoughts on what you thought about it.
Say, can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat and their hands. But you'll die in this place, and your memory erased. Oh, say, does this truth hold any weight? This is not the land of the free, but the home of the slave.
Play ball. Oh, all right.
Wow.
That was
wow. You know.
All right. So this, I don't know when the Essence Festival was. I don't know if that happened right. I'm guessing right before 4th of July. But
It's 4th of July weekend. It literally just happened this past week. It's always 4th of July weekend.
Okay. So that makes sense with it, that being said. 4th of July, there's two perspectives I guess you can look at it. If you look at it from an old historical context, we don't really have a reason to celebrate the Star Spangled Banner when it's sung at the ball games because it's based off of Revolutionary War. We weren't free. More than likely, you would have been probably killed if you even knew those words to the song. You weren't even supposed to be able to read the words to the song, for that matter.
Taught you freedom, Nick.
Yeah. So I understand going to baseball games, sporting events, or whatever event for not wanting to stand up and represent that song. And Jill Scott spoke on the historical context of when that song was written. So I understand that. The other perspective that some people, I'll play devil's advocate on that. When people sing the song, they want to sing or have you stand up for it, dealing with how the world is viewed now. I know the world is not 100% equal as we want it to be, or as the forefathers said it should be, but it is a better place that we're living in now, and we're living here now. We have fought in wars over the last few decades that we're actually allowed to fight in, and we fought for the country. What we were fighting for may not have been 100% for the country, because we still suffer through inequality and atrocities now that have not disappeared. It is a better place now. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate, but that's not what the song, to me, is about. It's about the Revolutionary War. That's what it was written for. That was when it was written during that time. We were not free. So, based on those two perspectives, do you think that Black people should view my first perspective through the historical context of when it was written, that we should agree with the words that Jill Scott sang at the Essence Festival with this song? Do you agree that's how we should view this version of the Star Spangled Banner? If you do agree with it, then leave it. If you don't, and say we should move past that, and we shouldn't look at it as that, we should look at it as how everyone else looks at it when they go to these sporting events, medicate it. You'll tell us why. Okay. So first, I'll come to ULT. Would you like to leave it or medicate it?
I'm gonna leave that shit.
He's going to leave it. Tell us why.
Ready? Go!
The lyrics that she came up with relate more to me in my American experience. I definitely hear what you're saying about the time period in which it was created and what it's really about, the American Revolutionary War. What I know about the American Revolutionary War is that the colonies over here in America were trying to get their freedom, independence from Great Britain, because they were not allowed to practice practice their religious, spiritual, and probably sexual beliefs. Um, so yeah, and part of them were also a part of a prison colony, and they just let them run over here because they weren't doing things the right way in Great Britain. Um, so none of that represents my freedom, because at the time of that happening, I was still enslaved. Not only that, they would use slaves to fight in the war against Great Britain. Like, but I digress. As a musician, these people, this is literally their job. This is their profession. Jill Scott is a musician. She is an artist. I would imagine she would go back and study music history. Like, if we cancel people and don't play their songs over much less these days. Playing Trey Songs or R. Kelly or anyone else that has done something within recent memory or something that we just don't like, we'll cancel them for. And we'll have their songs put, like, honestly, when Chris Brown beat Rihanna, they didn't sell his CD in Walmart, Target, Best Buy. We know how to get rid of music when we no longer agree with the message or the person. But when it comes to particular things like the Star Spangled Banner, like the national anthem, because this country is built off of white supremacy and these ideals being held up by the wealthy elite, they're never going to go. They're never going to disappear. So I think for people with Afro descendant heritage and stuff, we need a national anthem and a Star Spangled Banner that reflects our experience as Afro Americans or whatever. Because African American doesn't even, but doesn't even feel.
Okay. All right, Sparky T. Do you want to leave it or medicate it?
Medicated. No. I want to leave it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are you ready? Go!
I think that I'm tired of people telling us to get over slavery, for one thing. Or people acting like, it didn't happen to us directly. So we don't have any idea what they went through. And I'm tired of that. Just like we just talked about, everything affects everybody. You know what I'm saying? What we do collectively affect each other. And they still try to walk around. And once I'm trying to act like, for the longest, they try to act like slavery didn't really happen. But then, acting like the effects of slavery aren't real, or that they weren't passed down, or that there hasn't been white supremacy things going on in this country since we were brought here from our homeland. I think she did a wonderful job on her rendition, of the song. And a lot of people aren't gonna like the lyrics, and I pray to God she doesn't get canceled, but like he said, people have been canceled for less things. People have also been uncanceled because they tried to cancel the baby. And after people made enough fuss, they still put him on the next Rolling Loud after they had took him off the one Rolling Loud. So, you have the ability to get uncanceled if you get the right people behind you, enough people behind you. But hopefully she didn't even have to go through that, because the fact of the matter is what she was singing about is real. It may not have happened. And then I was reading some comments about it online, and somebody made the comment that we really needed to get over slavery and everything that had happened, because there was nobody still living that lived through segregation. There was nobody still living. This is what somebody said. There was nobody still living that had to use whites only or colored only things. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And other people, an older woman came back in the comments and was like, how could you be so damn dumb to say that? I'm this age and I had to use segregated this. So it's like people's idea of slavery, segregation, and when these things happen, they try to make it seem like it happened when the damn dinosaurs were here, and try to make themselves like once removed. And it's a hell of a lot closer to people try to make it seem. It ain't that many generations back.
Right. Okay. I'm going to leave it.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm fine with continuing to look at through those historical context, lyrics, not looking at through rose-colored shades or glasses, because that's what really happened. We can't whitewash it, pun intended or not, to where we do not understand that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows when we were around back then. The only thing I will say is some people do internalize listening to those lyrics. And when I hear people say get over slavery, I don't want people to just forget about it, but I do want people to move forward from it. And I do think people have a hard time moving forward from it, because when they hear those lyrics, not everybody, but some people hear those lyrics and they like, well, maybe I wasn't worth nothing, because look at how they did treat us back then and hundreds of years afterwards. And today, some people still do use that as an excuse to not do better in life. And like, well, if I'm stuck here, then maybe this is what I deserve, because this is what they thought we were, subhuman. That's the only thing. Because I do get what you're saying, that we can't just get over slavery and just forget it happened, because those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. But I do think there are some people who have a hard time also moving forward from it. by remembering. It's not Jill Scott's fault, but some people have a hard time. Just like somebody who's abused in a relationship, if they don't move forward from it, not forget it, but move forward from it, they usually stay in that same place in the next relationship and the next relationship, and they keep dating the same type of men. And with us, sometimes we keep ourselves in the same position because we don't move forward from it. Not forget it, but move forward from it. So that's the only gripe I have with it. I love the lyrics. The lyrics make sense. The people that got a problem with it, that doesn't make any sense because it's history. It's just like if it was in a history book and it wasn't sung and it was put in there, that's what actually happened. I
think it's hard for us to get over slavery because, like there's been no accountability taken on the notion of our captors. Like and not even to get into a whole reparations argument, there's literally just been, and honestly, Black people haven't progressed past America. That's why we because it's like, to your analogy about being in an abusive relationship and not carrying that into your next relationships. What Black people are in is like being in an abusive relationship and never leaving it because we've never left America.
Well, that's
not. And just keep hoping that it's gonna get better, and just keep hoping you staying in the same, like an abusive relationship, and you just keep hoping that it's gonna get better.
We have Stockholm
Does it
syndrome.
ever? Does it ever? Because they're never going to see your worth. They may play like they see your worth or whatever, but if you're in an abusive relationship,
performing and we keep shining as hard as we possibly can. We keep trying to excel and show off and give away how excellent we are to this American culture. So that we do that just so we can have Black culture and African American culture finally be considered just American culture. But again, just in that premise, we're literally overextending ourselves just to, at the end of the day, minimize ourselves for a country that's always going to want to treat us as the minority, even though we are the max export. We are the max import. We are literally the lifeblood of it, but we don't see that for ourselves because we feel as though we can't go anywhere else. We've been mind fucked and brainwashed and conditioned into thinking Africans don't like us, so we can't go to Africa. Like and we go to other places in different parts of the world where, I mean, and there's other places with Black people, but we go to those touristy locations that are European based. Like as a Black person, why are you so excited to go to London? Like, why the fuck are you so excited to go to Rome? I get it. It's historical. You've heard about it a lot. You've read about it a lot, but that's not you. That's not us.
That's about Africa too, but you ain't taking your ass over there.
Because the things that you hear and read about Africa, it reflects you, but it reflects you in it reinforces those negative things that you've been told about yourself in this country. They tell you that Africa's poor. They tell you that a mosquito is going to give you AIDS as soon as you get over there. They tell you that it's stinky and it's impoverished and the people are this and that. But it's like, you go anywhere else in the world, guess what the fuck they got to say about Americans?
It was beautiful. It was life changing.
But we know, I get, it's not as bad as it used to be. Of course, it's still got some issues that need to be fixed, and they'll probably never get fixed. Probably never in our lifetime, in the next generation's lifetime. But we know we're not going to leave for the most part. Most people are not going to leave.
I'm leaving.
So, with that being said, at some point we have to do something, because if they're not going to help us, then we have to do something. We hear people that pass on generational curses, and it has to be dependent on you to finally break that curse. And that's the only thing I'm worried about, is some people have a mentality of, I'm going to wait until they fix it for us, but it's never going to happen. Some people are stuck on that, and it has to be incumbent on you to actually fix it. Unfortunately or not, it's going to be incumbent on you or us as a group of people to actually fix it. I like I said, I love the song. I know there are people that hear it, and they may not say it on the outside, but on the inside, they're internalizing it as like, damn, we were actually subhuman, that they treated us like dogs. They killed us. We weren't even worthy to be at the celebrations like we are now. but we weren't
honestly,
back then. So
those
they
harsh
probably think the same
reminders
thing
are
today
what's needed.
that they were thinking about back then. They probably think the same thing today.
Sometimes those harsh reminders are needed to shake people out of apathy. Because again, like they're congregating at Essence Fest on July 4th on Independence Day weekend, when again, like the real reality of we did not have independence on this day, not the day that you're celebrating. Why is Essence Fest not on Juneteenth? Why was it not on Juneteenth? Why was the BET Awards not on Juneteenth? Why do we not go up incredibly hard for our own institutions, for our own celebrations, for our own traditions, from lands that come from people that look like us? We call it witchcraft instead. We call it satanic instead. We call it evil and everything other than what the original people who were us was doing. And it's because we like America again. It's an abusive relationship that we have with America. America has beaten us literally and metaphorically into a position of not loving, appreciating, or knowing the power and value in ourselves outside of how we can be useful to America. Because I say it all the time, as many black millionaires as we have, Africa should not be considered a poor nation by any stretch of the word.
Right.
No country in Africa should be considered poor, where as many celebrities have been sitting down to find their DNA roots. You know what I'm saying? Pharrell and Issa Rae and Beyonce have all sat down and done their family tree and gone back. Like, so how come the Gambia still, like, how come Nairobi, Kenya is still one of the poorest places on the planet? How comes South Sudan, where ancient Nubia is
People are
actually
robbing of their
located?
resources. Everybody but their own people are using their resources for bad.
They're using their resources to empower them. I'm going to spend money on my clothing line. I'm going to spend money on, you know what I'm saying, this tour, promotion for this tour. I'm going to spend money on things that are going to make me money, not empower other people to empower other people. Because if you start displacing power like that, the power that you have lessens. Is if more people acquired power, the power that a certain few have becomes less of. And there's still a certain few people that want to hold on to a little bit of power so that a lot of people won't have it and they can have a little bit of power or a lot of power over a lot of people. When it's just a little bit of them.
Facts. All right. Spark T, you have anything else to say on the subject matter?
Happy July.
No, not really. I'm about to say not really and then say so. Not, you know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot. I do understand what you're saying though about, you know, certain people hearing the lyrics and it may take them to a place, you know, because, you know, words, smells can invoke thoughts and different things. They could take a person a place. But I also think though, if you hear that song and it takes you to that place of, well, Dad, you know, we used to not be this and we used to not be that. Well, shit, we've been knowing that.
Yeah.
You know, so have you put it in the back part of your mind to where you're not dealing with it on a regular, or you're not doing your work to work past it and know who you are? And so that's why a song would bring up such thoughts in you. You know, or you walking around with your head in the clouds, like, you know, we all out here equal and whatever. And hearing the song got you like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if that song affects you, to me, that much, it makes me wonder, where were you at, or what did you have going on before you heard the song?
Word, you ain't know?
I don't know. Do you know, Sparky, if that song was done before the twerking happened or after?
I don't know.
I was about to say.
Don't
know. That's good context to know.
Like, did that, like, they hear the song and like, you know what? I'm gonna twerk it up for 4th of July. I understand what that song is about.
You twerking it up for massa.
Yeah, or if they heard that after it, they would still be twerking on the stage like that. If they internalized that message, would they
I
have
don't think so.
like
That
not
definitely
do
had
that
to
because
come
that's
last.
disrespectful to my ancestors on 4th of July weekend, knowing where they were at that time. It probably was before, but I wonder.
I was about to say, I don't no more think they making that damn correlation in the man
Yeah.
in the moon.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that my mind goes to no, I don't think that they, but I don't. I don't, because I think if they were that mindful, or if they were really moving in that, then they would know that shit's disrespectful to the ancestors, whether you had just heard the song or not. So their ass wouldn't be out there twerking. I'm saying they would
But this
have
shit
some
bought
proof about themselves. You know
it
what I'm
bought my
saying? But
freedom.
huh?
So that's why they continue to do it, because it bought their freedom. Like again,
Yeah,
money
or their
moves
sense of
everything.
freedom. Yeah,
The sense of
what
freedom.
they perceive as freedom.
Financial freedom.
Because and it might be financial freedom, but shit, that's a lot of they ass still die broke.
Yeah,
Still
because
this
they
and
don't
still
own
that,
anything.
because they don't own a damn thing. They ain't with no more free than the man in the moon.
They
They
got
made their
paid
asses
instead
think
of,
that
you
they
know
were
what I'm
free.
saying? They got
Yeah,
paid
yeah.
financially instead of getting paid. Yeah, instead of getting paid generationally, instead of getting paid instead of getting paid, instead of paying themselves spiritually, instead of getting paid mentally, they only received a finite amount of money. And again, people trade that all the time when it comes to their mental health, their emotional health, and their spiritual health, especially when it comes to being a public figure and an entertainer. You want to make millions and millions of dollars to do what you love, there's somebody waiting to exploit your love of that.
Yeah, there's somebody willing to let you sign a deal with the devil. There is always somebody there with a pen, like, here you go, sign.
I'll pay you
Always. There will
whatever you
always
want
be.
as
That's
long as
right.
you do this.
And the doing this part is always something that in some way, shape, or form is tearing your people down.
All right.
It's always something that in some way, shape, or form is something tearing the people down. Whether it's that your lyrics we all gotta be bitches and hoes, that your content can only be about killing each other, selling drugs, murdering, this, or that the
Because
women
black
can
people are the
only,
best consumers. We not ever gonna stop buying the stuff that we buy. Like we know that we get diabetes more than any other race, but we're not gonna stop buying Kool-Aid. We know that we get high blood pressure and all these problems and thyroid problems more than any other race, but we're not going to stop eating food with high sodium. We're not going to stop endorsing places like a Popeyes. We're not going to stop endorsing music and making millionaires out of people that were drug dealers, out of people that profess to being murderers in a very melodic way. Like Cardi B came from, like, shout out to her from coming from stripping, but we want to talk so much shit about how she's selling sex to our children. She was a stripper before this.
I say, don't start nothing that you don't want to keep up. She started in the sexual and she's still bringing it in the sexual.
And it's like, we as regular people, we get mad at her for putting out that image, but she wouldn't have been able to do it if somebody didn't buy it. Somebody bought it. And and they sold it to someone, bought it, and they sold it to us, and we continue to buy it and buy it and buy it.
Facts. All right. We'll leave that one and we're going to go to the last part of the show, the deepest thought, and see what's on the border for this deepest thought for this week. Let's pop up the video right quick. You might be impressed by this. Maybe y'all will try this in your spare time once you see this.
I might.
Tell your girl something. Christmas coming up.
Man, they don't support me. They know already. I be in their face every motherfucking
What's
day.
your name? I don't know.
Johnny. They call me Tongue Thing. What they do, home thing?
What they got?
Tongue Thing. Keep playing, nigga. I got that new twerk the wee wee, so y'all twerk the motherfucking wee wee all up in her like a wee wee dinner. Turn around, y'all trying to record it, nigga. Y'all got to catch the new song on the internet called Twerk, Twerk, Twerk the wee wee, twerk, Twerk, Twerk the wee wee, all up in her like a wee wee dinner. All up in her like a wee wee dinner. Put the nuts on the chin, just be her friend. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Be a hoe. Get it and go. For sure.
That's what I mean about doing anything for clout. Some people want fortune and fame, but they will settle for 15 minutes, 15 seconds of fame.
Twerk the wee wee, man.
Twerk the.
He said twerk the wee wee.
Yeah.
Where he get
But then
them?
was he saying something about a wee wee dinner? What the hell was he saying?
Yeah. You saw what clothes he had on, so I mean,
I'm need for him to give my nephew his pants back. Like,
yeah, that might explain a lot about
he
the wee
built
wee.
bad too. Like he got skinny ass little legs and a fucking keg for a body. Ew.
He's built like an ice cream cone, an ice cream on top.
A melted one.
Yeah, maybe more like mashed potatoes than ice cream cone.
More built like a push pop.
Damn. All right, guys, that's a wrap of our show. Hostile Therapy with Big Red. Of course, me, LT, Lord Trent coming on, and Sparky T giving her thoughts and knowledge and opinions on the subject matters again this week. Appreciate you guys for coming on. Appreciate the audience for joining in and getting some hostile therapy, not just because you want it, but because you need it. And we will see you on the next episode coming next Thursday. Y'all have a good night. Peace.